Fox News. The FBI says the 29-year-old suspect was arrested in Minnesota, suspected of posting a threat against Pam Bondi.
According to authorities in this affidavit that we just saw a couple of hours ago, unsealed recently, he allegedly offered a $45,000 bounty. In the post, there's a photo, and this was on TikTok, a photo of the Attorney General with a sniper red dot, and it reads, "Wanted Pam Bondi, reward $45,000, dead or alive, preferably dead." That's a quote. He is in custody. Additionally, his TikTok page had anarchist symbols, according to the affidavit filed.
Fox's David Spunt. The FBI says agents in Detroit got a tip about the post, with Google, Comcast, and TikTok assisting in the investigation. A Utah judge set to announce a decision about courtroom clothing for Charlie Kirk's accused assassin Tyler Robinson. The defense says he should be allowed to wear civilian clothes and no shackles for future court proceedings, arguing that being dressed as an inmate could impact the jury's presumption of innocence. Forecasters warning Jamaica that catastrophic flooding and landslides are possible from Hurricane Melissa, now a Category 5 storm, top sustained winds at 175 miles per hour and still moving very slowly at 3 miles an hour.
Expected to make a landfall on the southwest shores of Jamaica Tuesday morning. These winds and rains will last for well over 24 hours. Some areas could get 4 feet of rain, creating mudslides, rock slides, and catastrophic scenarios to the infrastructure. People have been bracing for days, the government warning everyone here to get everything in order. This could be the strongest hurricane in the history of Jamaica and one of the most powerful systems to ever come out of the Caribbean Sea.
Fox Weather's Robert Ray in Kingston. America is listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Why he is opposed to redistricting. Partly cloudy, 61 degrees in the Circle City. I'm Jake McDaniel. Here's what's trending at 3:02. Democratic Secretary of State candidate Bo Bai is calling out Governor Mike Braun's plan for a special session to redraw Indiana's political maps. Here's Ryan Hedrick.
Bai says lawmakers should focus on strengthening Indiana's economy and helping people, not holding a special session.
That is unnecessary, unwanted, and that could cost Hoosier taxpayers hundreds of thousands of dollars. It doesn't matter whether Republicans or Democrats are doing stuff like this, it's just wrong.
Governor Braun announcing the November 3rd special session will also involve lawmakers looking at updating Indiana's tax code to match recent federal changes and giving people that file taxes clear guidance for 26 filings. Ryan Hedrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Indiana Republican House Representative Andrew Ireland says it's also important to remember that other bills can be reviewed during the special session.
So there's no limitation on what bills can be filed. Doesn't necessarily mean that those bills will be heard. I know traditionally for special sessions, you try to keep them to a couple of topics, so you're in really quickly, you get it done, and then you get out.
He tells WIBC's Kendall and Casey that Indiana needed to call a special session on this so they don't marginalize their own voters. Democrats are criticizing this decision by the governor. Democrat Representative Kerry Hamilton argues that there is no enforcement mechanism that requires the General Assembly to answer his call and pass new maps. This week is a roller coaster for Indiana temperatures. The start of the work week will see high temperatures in the 60s, but expect that to change midweek.
We're looking at a pretty large low-pressure system passage in the middle of the week. Temperatures are going to drop off, where we have highs in the low 50s, so a little bit chillier than we have been experiencing.
Aaron Updike with the National Weather Service in Indianapolis says to get ready for that drop with overnight lows heading into the low 40s as well. And the Indianapolis Colts beat the Tennessee Titans yesterday, 38-14. They are 7-1 and face the Pittsburgh Steelers on the road this weekend. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 3:04.
Change is always happening. It's part of life. And when it comes to music, change is all around us. Songs are rewritten, classics are remixed, bands and artists come and go. Even our taste in music changes. Here at Xfinity, we know there's still good in keeping some things the same. That's why we want to do our part with a 5-year price guarantee on our internet. It means no matter what changes, you get 5 years of the most reliable Wi-Fi with our best equipment included for a price that stays exactly the same. Surprised? Life is full of them. One internet price, 5 years, guaranteed. Learn more at Xfinity.com/deals. Restrictions apply. New residential customers only. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, August 2024.
Traffic at 305. Good afternoon, Matt Bear.
Hey, Jake. Really bad spot for a crash. It's in the south side construction zone, northbound 65 in the south split. And it's right there on that exit lane to northbound 6570, the one that continues into downtown, okay? The right lane is currently blocked. Tough to tell by the angle, but it looks like we have a car into the guardrail. Traffic is jammed past Raymond Street, almost to Troy Avenue, and this is going to be a delay already of 18 minutes. I would stay out of that. If you get on Madison Avenue, you're in more construction. The closer to downtown you get. Looking at southbound 65 at 38th Guy, and that's the right lane closed because of a vehicle fire. Traffic sponsored by Staples. Have you heard? The Staples Easy button is back with even more easy. Press it for custom print shipping services, even passport photos. Staples, that was easy. I'm Matt Bear with traffic on the 5s. Follow us at WIBC Traffic.
Thank you, Matt. Now the forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
A few clouds at times today, but it will be warmer with highs near 63. Partly cloudy skies overnight, a few sprinkles possible with lows near 46. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Tara Hastings for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Jake McDaniel on The Level on the Go and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos?
So let's rock it!
My name is Nigel. Jason Hammer is out. The gun guy, Guy Relford, is in. Guy Relford had quite the interesting evening, to say the least. We will get to that coming up in Monday Gun Day. I'm sorry you go through. So I don't know how you put up with some of the crap that you do, Guy. But the story you have to tell during Monday Gun Day is... I'm shaking my head. So
annoying, but we'll get to it as you said. But I also am not going to blow it out of proportion. I think it's right
on. The old man went and did it. He did it. Governor Braun planning to call lawmakers back to the State House next month to redraw Indiana's congressional districts and address the secondary, the state and federal tax compliance issue, but. I think it's Monday. They're calling a session for redistricting. November 3rd, Governor Braun, earlier this morning on social media, quote, "I am calling a special legislative session to protect Hoosiers from efforts in other states that seek to diminish their voice in Washington and ensure their representation in Congress is fair." So, look, man, I've been on the fence about this. Like, I'm not anti-redistricting, kind of like Rob Kendall is, but on the other hand, look, if the goal is Republican domination, Guy, or at least to give the left as little voice as possible, then this is the right call. Is it not? I mean, people's going to say it's purely politically motivated, but yeah, it's politics. This is what this is.
Well, let's take a quick step back, though, Nigel. Calling the special session. Would you have won the vote on that, on whether Governor Braun was going to call the special session or not?
Well, he was in here. The last time he was in here, I believe, was last week, and he seemed pretty confident that he was going to, A, call the special session, and B, that he had the votes.
Okay, so this did not come as a surprise to you when he called the special session?
It didn't come as a surprise to me only because of his attitude and demeanor when we were talking to him about it face-to-face in studio.
Right here on Hammer and Nigel. Okay, well, and so now that it's called, then your next question, I think, is the most important one, which is this really a good thing or a bad? Is this a good thing or a bad thing long term for Hoosiers? I think that becomes a really interesting question.
Well, look, if you think honest representation is what's right, then this seems a little unethical, even though they have every right to do it, and other states have done it. And California is going to do it and counter. And just look, the thing is, they didn't call a special session for property tax. They didn't call, there's all other things, all sorts of things they could be concentrating on right now. But there does, go back to the votes for a second. There does seem to be questions as to whether or not they have the votes. So, but why would Braun call a special session if he didn't have the votes to redistrict? That's the question you have to break down and analyze.
Yeah, I think the answer, I have an answer for you. I don't know if it's a correct one or not, but theorizing, my answer would be that this gets Washington off his back. And, he doesn't have to take calls from the vice president, the more visits from the vice president, the calls from Trump, more calls for Hoosier lawmakers to come sit down and get lobbied in Washington. He can say, hey, I called a special session. Now you got to go talk to those guys in the General Assembly because they didn't vote for it.
Yeah, but then that's a risky call, too, because Donald Trump could just call him back, or people that are in positions of power could look at Braun and say, look, you can't lead these guys.
Yeah.
You didn't get the votes. What are you talking about? You called a special session, but you didn't get the vote. So it's not a matter of Braun saying, hey, look, I called a special session. I wipe, I'm Pontius Pilate. I wipe my hands clean of this. I wash my hands clean. We tried to get the votes. We didn't have them. But then he kind of looks like a feckless leader at that point because, when you don't call a special session on property taxes because you don't have the votes, and then the same thing, then the risk of the same thing happens with redistricting. It's a different ballgame, man. Politics is weird.
It is. Now, there's one difference in there, which is that the legislature voted on property tax. So they had to put their name, yay or nay, up or down, on which side of the property tax issue they were going to vote on. And then it was a matter of whether you were going to veto it and make them vote a second time. Here, the individual legislators, a lot of them have expressed opinions on social media or publicly or to other forms of media, but a lot of them haven't taken a position. And what this does is it forces them to take a position they're going to have to be responsible for, not only politically, including to Washington where they're getting pressure and, threats to have them primaried and that type thing, but also, more importantly, to their constituents. But to me, it boils down. It's really a pretty simple analysis. It's not complicated. Do you fall on the side of, well, it may not be right, but we have to fight fire with fire because the Democrats do it?
I believe that.
Or do you fall on the other side, which is it's just not really right, and we ought to fairly allow districts to represent and the people that live in those districts politically, and not try to manipulate them for political means? But you're either in the fight fire with fire camp, or it's not really the right thing to do camp, and I think logical people could fall on either side of that line.
And I really can't imagine Braun would call that special session if he knew if he doesn't have the votes yet, then the leadership of the Senate is going to say to the other squishes in there that, look, man, this is basically a way to pressure reps that are on the fence.
Yeah.
Right? If you want a future with this party, you better step in line and vote how we want. Then if it passes, then Braun's leadership saves the day.
Well, and it's a great point, Nigel, and it's something I learned in the 10-year fight for constitutional carry, which is getting a vote is the battle. And when we finally got a vote, it passed by a significant margin. The problem is a lot of people behind closed doors were not for it and were willing to let it die without a vote. In fact, went through all kinds of different manipulations to make it die without a vote. But when finally called upon to stand up and be accountable and vote on the record, again, for which they will have to now be responsible to their constituents, all of a sudden now they're voting for it. So they can say, oh, yeah, I support the Second Amendment. Behind closed doors, they were a hell of a lot weaker on the issue. So forcing a vote sometimes is the primary means to achieve your objective, because people will be cowards in private but stand up and do the right thing in public, depending, of course, on how you define the right thing.
Tell me the atmosphere at Lucas Oil yesterday. You were at that Colts game.
Yeah.
Colts with the beatdown of the Titans, 38-14. What did you think? How'd you feel? What was the mood, the tone, the tenor? What were the fans like?
Yeah, I've been going to Colts games since they moved here in 1984. I was part of the original team that helped get them here, and so I've been there a lot, and it's been a while. It's been a while since the mood, the feeling in Lucas Oil Stadium was of confidence. Just that kind of, we ought to win this kind of a thing. A lot of times, people are walking in there kind of with their heads down or not sure what's going to happen. And even against teams that you really feel like you should win against. I mean, the Colts over the years, how many, backup quarterbacks have come in and passed for 450 yards and 5 touchdowns? And we've just seen that over and over again. Here you're going against the #1 draft pick, rookie quarterback. They got one win going into that game. But in days of old, you'd be walking in there going, "Nah, I don't really know what's going to happen here," and you really expected the Colts to win by 2 or 3 touchdowns, and that's exactly what happened. And it was fun to have that air of confidence back in Lucas Oil Stadium.
Here is that 80-yard touchdown run from running back Jonathan Taylor.
Under center, Jones on first down. They give it to Taylor, left side. He's at the 20, 25, 30, 35, down the sideline, 40, 50-yard line, still going. Taylor up in the sideline. He's got a chance. 10, 5, touchdown! Jonathan Taylor takes it 80 yards to the house. Tight-roping that left sideline. No problem for the great running back.
I believe it was after that the fans were chanting MVP.
Yes.
MVP
I
here.
was standing up screaming MVP right there with them. It was fun.
Jonathan Taylor after the game on the MVP chants.
I mean, that's what we need. I mean, we feed off of the fans, especially playing at home. So for us to come out firing on all cylinders, it's really a testament to the work that we put in, and we're just glad that the fans are here for it. They're engaged. It makes it a tough environment for the opposing team.
Matt Bear's a huge Colts fan. What'd you think yesterday, buddy?
I was actually in the first half really agitated because the first quarter went by and we were only up by a few, and I was getting mad because I'm like, we're supposed to be beating these guys by 28 by now, and I have an entire Sunday in front of me. You know, it was really selfish.
Right
but
on.
I had a blast. Love me some Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah,
Michael Pittman's a man too. Northbound. I have more sports talk. Northbound 65 crash in the South Split. It's on the exit to northbound 65 at 70, and the ramp is open barely right now. Traffic is jammed up past Raymond Street. Southbound lanes also slow before Keystone Avenue. Then we look at southbound 65 at 38th Guy, and that's a vehicle fire blocking the right lane. No delay at the moment. Traffic sponsored by Staples. Have you heard? The Staples Easy button is back with even more easy. Press it for custom print shipping services, even passport photos. Staples, that was easy. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Okay, coming up, one of the funnier television news anchor bloopers I've ever seen having to do with Halloween. Also, Monday Gun Day. Guy Relford filling in for Hammer. That's coming up at about 3:30. Had an incident last night. We're going to talk about that. And we just got a loaded, packed show today. And we're going to have a lot of fun. 63 at the American Standard Heating Weather Center, 93 WIBC.
Inside Indiana Business Radio, the news you need to get ahead. Indiana's business news leader, weekdays at 6:32 a.m. and 5:56 p.m. on WIBC.
Football is back, and so are great hairlines. We Grow Hair Indy has helped former local professional football players get back in the game with full natural hair. You don't have to play pro ball to get pro-level results. Hey, it's Rob, and I knew I picked the right team when I needed a Hail Mary for my hair. I called We Grow Hair Indy. Whether you're tailgating, coaching, or watching from the couch, do it with confidence. Trade the sidelines for a hairline. Get back in the game at We Grow Hair Indy. Schedule your free evaluation today at WeGrowHairIndy.com. That's WeGrowHairIndy.com, or call 317-522-2995. That's 317-522-2995. Enjoy being out and about this fall. Enjoy watching the games in person with your friends with confidence you haven't had in years. And you can do it with a trip to We Grow Hair Indy. 317-522-2995. 317-522-2995. Tell them Rob sent you.
The deals are happening at Andy Moore Ford in Plainfield. That's where you get your next Ford car, truck, electric vehicle, or fleet vehicle. More savings, more selection, and more for your trade. Drive off in a new Ford F-150 for 3.9% APR or lease for $401 a month. It's your choice. You can get a new Bronco Sport for just $381 a month. Get more before it's gone. And routine maintenance plans are available to keep things simple and convenient. And don't forget, get more to your door. Just shop online, and Andy Moore will deliver directly to you. Andy Moore Ford in Plainfield. For your car, for your truck, for your fleet vehicle, and of course, that service. Just go to AndyMooreFord.com, set up your service, they'll pick up your car, take perfect care of it, and bring it right back to you. Andy Moore Ford, 2713 East Main Street in Plainfield. Stop into the showroom and tell them Tony Katz sent you, or online at AndyMooreFord.com. That's Andy Moore, M-O-H-R. I love Andy. AndyMooreFord.com.
If you have Medicaid and are new to Medicare, you may qualify to enroll in a Humana Medicare Advantage dual-eligible special needs plan with a lot more benefits like dental, vision, and hearing, along with helpful support when you need it most. Now is the time to see if you qualify to enroll. It only takes a few minutes to find out if you're eligible. Our licensed sales agents are ready to help you understand your options. So this Medicare planning season, we can help you plan well. Learn more at humanaduals.com. Humana, a more human way to healthcare. Humana is a dual-eligible special needs HMO SNP plan with a Medicare contract and a contract with the state Medicaid program. Enrollment in any Humana plan depends on contract renewal.
It all comes down to this, folks.
Yep, the entire season is on the line.
But my throat has officially thrown in the towel.
Sounds like you need Vicks VapoCool drops. They're max strength and vaporize sore throat pain.
Whoa! These VapoCool drops hit fast.
Speaking of fast, did you just see that play?
Yeah, he vaporized that ball.
That pun should have come with a penalty.
Vaporize sore throat pain with Vicks VapoCool drops. Use as directed.
Garage door problems? Call today for service today. Garage Doors of Indianapolis services all makes of garage doors 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Call today for service today. 875-4577. Call today for service today. Get it fixed right now. Call Garage Doors of Indianapolis at 875-4577 or visit doorstoday.com.
In the morning, call 875-4577.
Service today?
Today.
This hour powered by Stevenson Heating and Cooling, your American Standard Air dealer, serving Johnson and Morgan counties.
Pumpkins, candy, costumes, Halloween stuff.
Yeah, I'm Nigel, Guy Relford, the gun guy, in for Hammer. Real quick, Hammer's the one that sent this to me. One of my favorite things is TV bloopers, TV anchor, news bloopers. Here's a news anchor that can't stop laughing, talking about sour Halloween suckers.
That sounds awful. I do not feel for the people stuck in that. All right, thanks, Hank. If you like, all right, if you'd like a holiday kiss, you might want to invest in a drone. Okay, here's a story. I'm sorry. I do not feel for the people stuck in that. I do not feel for the people stuck in that. I do not feel for the people stuck in that.
Oh, and the best. I mean, live TV is such a different animal. You've done it before.
Yeah.
And radio is one thing, but when you get a case of the giggles, you can't stop laughing. It's happened to me before on the show.
Yeah.
Either a caller or Hammer or Allison has me rolling. I can't move forward. Are you, by the way, are you somebody that turns his light on Halloween? Guy Relford, Mr. Zionsville?
Turns it off?
Turns it on?
Yeah. Oh, no, I'm all about the trick-or-treaters. I dress up.
Do you really?
Oh, yeah.
No, you don't.
I dress up something big and scary, and I've been like a psycho demon biker before, and I put masks on. In fact, I get dressed up and go riding around. If the weather allows, I go riding around my Harley. I'll send you a picture. In fact, I'll post on Hammer Nigel on Twitter.
Please
or X.
do.
I'll post a picture of me on the Harley, and you ever seen the movie Ghost Rider? I dress up kind of like
such an awful movie, but I know what you're.
Yeah, but I mean, I have like a skull mask and a biker jacket and chaps and the whole thing. And when the kids just start trick or treating, I go through the neighborhood and I go really, really slow past them, and the Harleys go. Rah, 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 rah,
So
rah,
you're
rah.
into it.
Oh, and I like stare at these kids like going 3 miles an hour and just stare at them, and they all get into it. They'll follow me to my house to come up and ring the doorbell.
That's fantastic.
I love Halloween. I think it's a blast.
The fact that it's on a Friday this year just is over the top. It's like in the neighborhood. I don't know about you. There are lots of little kids in our neighborhood, and it's just a ton of fun.
Oh yeah.
I think my daughter's going as Marie Antoinette, and she's gonna.
Oh, fun.
Didn't she get her? She's the one that got her head chopped off, right? Let them eat.
Yeah,
cake.
is she gonna carry her head around with her under her arm?
I think we've got to find a way to at least put like a giant scar around her neck. Now, some adults are claiming that trick-or-treating is officially dead.
Oh, come on.
And it's been replaced by something called trunk-or-treating. Here is somebody talking about it on social media.
So the other day I was asking my cousin, I'm like, what are you going to be for Halloween? And he said something like, I'm going to be a bat. But anyways, I'm like, oh, that's cool. Are you excited for trick-or-treating? He then kind of scoffs at me. He's like, no one goes trick-or-treating anymore. He's like, it's trunk-or-treat, not trick-or-treat. I said, no, trick-or-treating, like you go to people's houses. He's like, no, we do trunk-or-treat. But apparently it's lame to trick-or-treat now, and it's cool to trunk-or-treat. You just go to people's trunks, I guess. I don't even know how that works. And apparently if you like trick-or-treating now, you're lame.
No.
Have you ever heard of that?
No,
I've heard of trunk or treat in the sense that like churches will kind of toe the line. They don't know, some churches don't really, do the Halloween thing, but they will do a trunk or treat festival in their parking lot. It's kind of like COVID in 2020 where instead of coming up and knocking on the door, you just set up shop at the end of your driveway and the kids could come by and just pick up candy, which actually turned out to be pretty efficient.
Yeah, but it's efficient. But the goal of Halloween is not just to disperse candy efficiently to a bunch of kids. It's also to meet your neighbors, our neighbors go out and a lot of them have a cocktail and they're walking around. They come up, knock
That's
on
our
the door.
neighborhood.
And, and it's a socialization event. It's not just to go to most efficient means of distributing candy to a bunch of kids. That makes no sense.
I may have been overanalyzing it just a tad there, I think.
But I have a question for you. I saw a social media question posted. It was on the Carmel Chatter Facebook page, and I asked my wife about this because the question was, we're fairly new to the Carmel area, and we want to know the best neighborhood to take our kids to. We want to take them to that neighborhood, let them trick or treat in that neighborhood, and people started commenting on, well, such and such a neighborhood, they have like the best candy, and they give out full size candy bars, and I did not respond because I didn't want to be that old jerk, angry guy, but because I started to respond by going, well, you trick or treat in your own damn neighborhood. I mean, what do you mean? What neighborhood do you take your kids to trick or treat?
Live in a rural country road or something.
Well,
like
that I
maybe
get.
Maybe that's what she was getting at.
Well, yeah, okay, but I mean, how do you react to that? Because there are times when in my neighborhood, and I don't live in a big fancy neighborhood, despite
a gated community. I thought.
Oh yeah, Jefferson Shreve's campaign called me that, right? Well, I do not live in a gated community. I live in a decent middle income neighborhood, but. If I see some, van pull up and 87 kids pile out of it, that kind of, I'm going to give them candy. I'm not going to be Scrooge about it.
You're going to give them a stink eye, though. You're going to give them a side eye.
I just kind of think, well, and what's the reason why you're not? And you answered the question. Well, maybe they're in a rural area where there are no other. There's one house within 2 miles. Okay, I get it, but to just truck into some other neighborhood, that always kind of strikes me as a bit off.
Let's go to the last clip here, Allison, with all the Halloween parties coming up. You certainly wouldn't want to offend anybody. I know my daughter's costume might offend some people with an over-the-top costume. So to make sure that doesn't happen, there's a new place in town you can go.
Welcome to Woke World Halloween Superstore.
Oh, I thought this was a Spirit Halloween.
Yeah, we make it look that way.
Yeah, I want to get a ghost costume.
That does disrespect the dead.
All right, never mind. What about a werewolf?
Kind of offensive to people with abnormal hair growth.
Evil clown?
Think of the people with mental issues.
A Mario brother.
Ethnic stereotype much?
Skeleton?
Eating disorders?
Forget it, I'll just wear a white t-shirt.
Maybe just go with black. It incorporates all the colors.
Oh, brother.
Hey, thanks for coming to Woke World.
Oh, there you go. A Monday Gun Day coming up next. Guy, you went through something last night nobody should ever have to go through. I'm not trying to make it dramatic or anything. No. I know you're not, but it's not the first time this has happened to you. We will get to that. It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Picture this. Your career ends, your paycheck stops. Suddenly you're conducting your retirement with no sheet music. Don't let that happen. I'm Jason Hutchins, and after years of guiding Hoosier families through retirement planning, I put together some of the most important lessons into one simple, easy-to-read book, Orchestrate Your Retirement, a guide to composing a financially tuned plan. Get a copy mailed to you at no cost. Call 317-660-0929. That's 317-660-0929. This book is packed with real-world stories and strategies on income, Social Security, taxes, and how to protect what you've worked so hard to build. Call Guardian Willis Financial at 317-660-0929 929. That's 6600-929 and ask for your copy. No pressure, no strings attached. Supplies are limited, so when they're gone, they're gone. Orchestrate your retirement. The rhythm of your future starts here.
Investment advisory services offered through Creative One Wealth LLC, a registered investment advisor. Guardian Wealth Financial is not affiliated with Creative One Wealth or with any government agency. Licensed insurance professionals.
Why do so many basement companies want half the money up front? Could it be because it's easier to get than earning all your trust? At the Michaelis Corporation, they don't ask for a deposit until the job is done and you're completely satisfied. They even start with a free inspection to ensure you know exactly what your home needs without the guesswork. With over 35 years experience, they've proven that trust is built on results, not deposits. Michaelis, building trust beneath your feet. Visit michaeliscorp.com.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
The government shutdown drags on into its 27th day. Partly cloudy, 62 degrees on Monument Circle. I'm Jake McDaniel. Here's what's trending at 3:30. And with that said, the Senate is back today, but don't expect any movement. Democrats and Republicans are still completely deadlocked over the expiring Affordable Care Act subsidies. The clock is ticking in on a far more immediate crisis, and that's funding for food assistance for about 42 million people, and that's set to run out this Saturday. Indiana Governor Mike Braun discussed his decision to call a special session on redistricting Monday afternoon. He was a guest Monday on Tony Katz Today.
The blue states have already gerrymandered as much as they possibly can to the benefit of their own party.
He says Democrats don't want an even playing field, so he's hearing from fellow Republicans who say this is their way of standing up and fighting back with the midterms coming up next year. FBI Director Kash Patel is set to visit China and Japan next month.
This is all still being worked out, but if he indeed makes the trip to China, he's expected to talk about fentanyl analogs and precursors, a big problem. Fentanyl analogs strengthen fentanyl, while precursors are the materials used in some cases to make fentanyl. China is a major manufacturer of both, and it's become a problem for the FBI and other law enforcement agencies here in the United States. Patel's trip, if it happens, and I say if because it's still in the planning stages, will put him front and center in front of law enforcement counterparts to discuss fentanyl production.
Fox's David Spunt reporting President Trump is set to meet with Chinese President Xi Jinping as part of his trip across Asia on Thursday. Hurricane Melissa is nearing Jamaica and is expected to hit tomorrow morning as an extremely dangerous Category 5 storm. Forecasters are warning of catastrophic flash flooding and landslides from up to 40 inches of rain and winds over 160 miles per hour. And movie theaters Cinemark and IMAX are opening more 70-millimeter screens next year, thanks to the hype around Christopher Nolan's new film, The Odyssey. The first showings in the rare format are already sold out, so grab your tickets fast if you want to see the film in Nolan's preferred style. Time is 3:32. Your traffic and weather in 1 minute.
JTV, Jewelry Television. With 80,000 jewelry looks, we're kind of a big deal. Even bigger with new lines of designer handbags, fragrances, and more. And biggest of all, because you could win a 7-night stay in Bali, spending money and thousands worth of JTV jewelry, making you kind of a big deal. Enter by December 7th at jtv.com/sweepstakes. No purchase necessary. Then watch JTV on TV or shop jtv.com for big holiday deals.
Hey, it's Big Joe for Jim's Heating and Air Conditioning, an independent American Standard Platinum customer care dealer. Jim Scott is the owner, and he's ready to take his success into Boone and Hamilton counties.
We have a lot of high-quality equipment. We do high-quality jobs. We do our own duct fabrications. We have service contracts. So with the value that we built because of our 5-star rating, the other counties, as much growth as there is, there's just not enough contractors.
Put the best to work for you at jimsheating-air.com. Jim's Heating and Air Conditioning, your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
With your traffic at 3:33, Matt Bear, what you got?
Tough crash coming into the south split on northbound 6570, already a construction zone. Now the ramp to northbound 6570 is blocked in the south split, and you are able to make your exit right now, but it's very tricky. So the delay is stretching almost to Keystone Avenue for 13 minutes. I would consider using another route. Southbound 65 at 38th Guy, and that's a fire at 38th Street. Right lane blocked, no delay at the moment. Crash south side, US 31 at East Elbert Street. That's a crash with injuries. Crash Emerson Avenue at Southport Road reported as a pedestrian struck. Traffic sponsored by Drexel Interiors. Drexel Interiors has teamed up with Mohawk for Breast Cancer Awareness Month. A portion of October's Mohawk sales will be donated to the Susan G. Komen Foundation. Visit either showroom or DrexelIN.com today. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And now here's the forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
Partly cloudy skies overnight tonight. Could see a few spotty sprinkles possible with lows near 46. Lots of clouds for your Tuesday and some scattered evening showers possible with highs near 59. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Tara Hastings for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Jake McDaniel on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
The only way to bag a classy lady is to give her 2 tickets to the gun show.
It's Monday Gun Day with the gun guy.
Just watch out for the guns. They'll get you.
Guy Relford.
Stop calling your arms guns.
Hammer and Nigel show.
Yeah, Guy Relford filling in for Hammer. I'm Nigel. Guy Relford, 2A attorney, licensed firearms instructor. How are you?
Man, I am great, and thanks as always to our sponsor for Monday Gun Day. That's Premier Arms in Brownsburg, with the largest selection of new, used, and historic firearms in the Midwest. And PA Jewelers located in the farmhouse right out front. Check them out at 3754 South Green Street in Brownsburg or premierarms.com.
Beautiful day yesterday.
It was.
You and your wife had tickets to the Colts game.
Yep.
Get downtown. Did you go to lunch? Did you get a drink beforehand?
Oh, absolutely, man. We went to Harry and Izzy's.
Yeah, oh yeah,
and,
staple for my wife and I when we go before Colts games.
Absolutely.
Sure.
And I usually get the filet sliders, but I branched out and got their steak burger.
The sliders was the best.
Oh, I know.
But I've never had the steak burger.
Oh, but my wife talked me into that because she says,
is it like a smash burger kind of thing?
No,
or is
no,
it just
it's a thick juicy burger, and it tastes like steak. Man, you can tell they make it out of really nice cuts of meat. And but no, Harry and Izzy's, man, those filet sliders are still on my death row meal. We've talked about that before.
Yeah, so you go to the game.
Yeah.
What a tremendous day for a game. Beautiful day for a Colts.
I think they should have had the roof open, but that's just me.
So you get home, you're relaxing, you get into bed, you're watching football. I do this with my wife. I get into bed to watch TV.
Yeah.
No shame in that.
Nope.
Not at all. It's a little harder to do with kids and a 5-month-old puppy.
Yeah.
So you get a ring at your doorbell, and I'll let you take it from there.
Yeah. Like you said, we had a great evening and watched the Colts win and hung out downtown a little bit and got home. And, I get a notification. There's someone at my front door. And right then the doorbell rings. And so I look at the camera on the Ring doorbell, and there are 2 Zionsville police officers on my doorstep, on my front porch. And, I have adult kids. I mean, police officers come into your house at 9:30 at night. That's kind of scary.
Maybe they got some bad news for you.
Yeah, you don't know what they're going to say. And so I go out there, and it turned out to be 2 great guys, a sergeant and a patrolman from ZPD. And the reason they were there, though, is they'd gotten a call from Carmel Police Department because there was another bomb threat at my office in Carmel. Which is just bizarre to me on a Sunday night. I mean, there's nobody there. I mean, the tattoo shop that's right next to me is closed down. The California Closets, which on the other side of me, is closed. There's nobody in the building. And so there was a bomb threat.
And you didn't know up until that point at the Colts game or at your house that there had been indeed a bomb threat.
No, and in fact, I was kind of, out of contact with social media and whatnot because I just wasn't paying attention. I had my phone in my pocket, and we'd been to the game, and I was having a great conversation with my wife. I just hadn't looked at my phone. Turns out Carmel PD had called me just to say, hey, we had a 911 call with a bomb threat at your office, and we couldn't get a hold of you. So
your office specifically
targeted.
Yeah,
the guy mentioned my office. He said, I'm outside the law office of Guy Relford in Carmel, and I've planted a bomb, and I'm going to blow this building up. And Carmel PD tried to call me, and I didn't answer the phone.
Just because you didn't know. It doesn't show up at Carmel PD, right?
Yeah, well, no, it showed up as it just showed up as a 317 number.
Sure.
And so then after I talked to ZPD, and those guys were really great. I mean, they were literally there just to make sure I was okay.
So they showed up later that night at your doorstep.
Yeah.
You still not knowing that there had been a bomb threat at your law offices at Carmel.
Yeah.
And ZPD just checking on you.
So then I went and listened to the message from the CPD officer. It was a lieutenant from CPD, and then listened to his message, and then called him, and he gave me some more detail. And then I went out on social media and I saw where it had been posted. Some of the people that run these scanner sites that listen to the scanner.
Yeah.
And Carmel, I mean,
they shut down the street, didn't they?
Yeah, they closed down a couple of blocks in every direction. They had the fire department out there. They brought the dog out and swept the building with a bomb sniffing dog. I mean, they were,
what time was the bomb threat? Do you know?
The bomb threat was apparently 7-ish.
Okay.
And then they finally sent ZPD to my house. It was about 9:15 when those guys pulled up. And this is my second bomb threat. I had one in 2021. Yeah. So, and listen, I don't take this as any kind of real threat. I think it's just some idiot with a phone. I'm not real sure why they're targeting my law office. It doesn't make any sense to me.
This is the second one?
Second one, yeah. It's one in 2021. And, but do I think there's really someone intent on, planting a bomb or doing anything else violent? No, it's some coward with a phone. And so, and when the officers even said, well, you don't seem particularly concerned. And I said, well, no, I mean, these are someone trying to quote unquote terrorize you. You're only terrorized if you choose to allow them to terrorize you. And I'm like, no, to hell with these people. They're not doing anything. They're just an idiot with a phone.
Did they call the cops? Or
Called
did
the
they
cops.
call
Called 911.
Oh, okay. So whoever called in the bomb threat called 911. Were they able to trace it? Do they have any idea where it came from?
No, they couldn't get anything from the phone call. And right now,
Really?
Yeah. And the call from 2021 said Kansas call. That's just what it says. It came from somewhere in Kansas.
It could be calling from anywhere in the world.
Yeah.
With the
you get those spam calls that are supposedly from Zionsville or Carmel, and they're obviously from India or somewhere.
India.
Exactly. So who knows? I mean, I think it's getting harder and harder for law enforcement to track phone calls, but they didn't have any apparent leads. But yeah, it was all news to me until I'm getting ready to hunker down, watch some Sunday Night Football, and next thing you know, ZPD's ringing my doorbell.
God bless the ZPD.
For thanks to all those
care
guys.
Of you.
And Carmel too. I mean, they all just did a great job.
But so there's a camera. Is there some sort of Google Earth camera in the middle of the intersection where your office is located at? And then the working theory for that first bomb threat on your offices in 2021 was that somebody could access that camera and just call from anywhere in the world.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. I think you nailed it, Nigel. What it is, it's people can look it up. It's earthcam.com.
Earthcam.
It's not associated with Google, I don't think, but it's earthcam.com. You can go there and you just search for Carmel, Indiana. And when you do that, you bring up this camera, and they may have changed the angle of the camera, but it used to be when you brought it up, my sign that is mounted on the front of the building where my office is, there at 1 South Range Line, says Law Office of Guy Relford right in the foreground of the camera when you bring it up at earthcam.com. And I really think it was somebody, who knows, it could be in Russia or Zimbabwe
who knows where it came
or
from.
Lebanon, who knows where it is.
Yeah.
But I think they get their jollies out of phoning in something like this and then watching the first responders show up and block off the building and bring in the fire department, and they sit there and giggle like a bunch of teenage girls.
But you're telling me the cops can't trace that call from 911? Or they hadn't at that point?
I've not heard them be able to successfully trace anything from 2021, and I don't know that I have much hope they're going to do it this time either. And that's not an insult or criticism of the cops.
I understand.
I just think it's where we are with technology these days.
Can we take a break? Because you did an interview with somebody that I was listening to. I couldn't get out of the car to stop listening.
Yeah,
it was one of those kinds of interviews during your show on Saturday during the Gun Guy show. So let's take a break. And I want to reset that and play a clip of that, and maybe we can talk about that here on Monday Gun Day on the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Hi, this is Denny Smith, and it's time to get ready for spooky season by eliminating all of that spooky dirt, grime, and spills. Halloween brings out the best in people, but it also brings out some pretty scary crud from all the foot traffic. How about having Zero Res help you take on all of that with an unbelievable October special? Get 3 rooms Zero Resified starting at just $129 and 15% off dryer vent and air duct cleaning too. Now that's some serious savings on the carpet cleaning. And remember that your air ducts are where the really spooky stuff is. Yikes! The Zero Res service for your carpets, floors, dryer vents, or air ducts is easy to line up, and you can go online at ZeroResIndy.com to do the scheduling at your convenience. I love these folks, and don't forget the ZR water difference. No soap, no residue, no harsh chemicals, leaving things really clean. Now mention WIBC and get 3 rooms of carpet cleaned starting at $129 plus 15% off dryer vent and air duct cleaning too. Call 317-388-5141 or book things online at zeroresindy.com.
It's not just cancer care, it's the complete care you get at Hendricks.
And you can feel that spirit of excellence, trying to do what's best from a medical standpoint, but also trying to affect the patient and their family as you would a family member.
Hendricks Care is trying to meet the patient where they are.
You know your body better than anyone else.
Do the cancer screening early.
An ounce of prevention versus a pound of cure.
Learn about health screenings at hendricks.org/cancer.
Welcome to Tire Discounters. Oh, hiya, Phantom.
Mike, you may be in big trouble with Chip Wood.
Our owner?
Free oil changes along with alignment?
On any 4-tire purchase.
And Goodyear's up to $200 off?
Yeah.
Sorry, Mike, but I'm telling.
But the Wood family is behind all this.
Oh, those rascals.
But don't tell the accountants.
Of course not. And what do they do again?
Buy any set of 4 tires at Tire Discounters and get a free alignment and oil change. Make them Goodyear's and save up to $200 more. See store for details.
You've got your whole life ahead of you, so choose a Medicare plan you can count on. If you're living with a chronic condition like diabetes, chronic heart failure, or a cardiovascular disorder, you might count on extra support with your health care too. That's why United Healthcare offers chronic special needs plans with extra benefits and a large provider network to choose from. Visit uhc.com/Medicare to find out if you qualify today. United Healthcare Medicare plans. It's Medicare coverage Indiana can count on. Provider network may vary in local market.
From military life to a rewarding career in IT, kickstart your new journey in a matter of months in the fields of IT and cybersecurity, including AI. Learn more at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. Financial aid is available for qualified students, including VA benefits.
As a caregiver, managing your loved one's health can at times be overwhelming. This is Tina McIntosh, president of Joy's House and co-host of the Caregiver Crossing radio program. In a moment, I'll share 3 tips to help you manage your loved one's medical care effectively.
Cardon & Associates provides residents with the best senior living options and personalized service. Visit cardon.us to find a community near you.
Tip number 1, keep a list of all medications, dosages, and schedules to ensure your loved one is taking their medication correctly. Second, attend doctor's appointments with your loved one when you're able. And finally, stay organized by keeping forms, notes, and other important documents in one secure place. More tips like this are available anytime at caregivercrossingradio.org. With new weekly content created by Joy's House and distributed in partnership with Network Indiana, we're an on-air and online support group for Hoosier family caregivers. Hear conversations with experts, access a library of online education, and more at caregivercrossingradio.org.
Hi, this is Richard Stevenson. We service all makes and models. Call us at 317-557-8532.
Stevenson Heating and Cooling is your independent American Standard air dealer.
The Attorney General's Office, reuniting Hoosiers with over $1 million in unclaimed property every week. Visit indianaunclaimed.gov or text Hammer and Nigel to 46220 today.
Drexel Interiors has teamed up with Mohawk for Breast Cancer Awareness Month. A portion of October's Mohawk sales will be donated to the Susan G. Komen Foundation. Visit either showroom or drexelin.com today.
Want in on special WIBC contests?
That is correct.
Join the text club. Text WIBC to 317-239-9393. Exclusive giveaways are just a text away.
Matt Bear, what's going on with traffic?
Nigel, northbound 65, crash on the exit, continuing to northbound 6570. The ramp is open. It is very tight right now with traffic jam past Raymond Street and a delay of 13 minutes. Eastbound 70 into the south split stop and go from West Street. Southbound 65, that is a fire blocking the right lane. No delay at the moment, and it's at 38th Guyan Road, one of those 38th Street exits, and you're going to have that first, in fact. Inbound 65 slows after 21st to Meridian, and on the north side, eastbound 465 stop and go traffic from Michigan over to Ditch. Crash south side, US 31 at East Elbert, and a crash Emerson Avenue at Southport Road, somebody got hit by a car. Traffic sponsored by Drexel Interiors. Replace old floors before the holidays with Drexel Interiors and get a free pad with a qualifying purchase of new catering or luxury vinyl through November 15th. Go to DrexelIN.com for details. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
63 in sun at the American Standard Heating and Weather Center. My name is Nigel. Guy Relford here. It's Monday Gun Day. I did want to ask you about this interview that I heard you conduct on Saturday during your show, the Gun Guy Show, which is on here Saturdays 9. Is it 5 to 7?
5 to 7.
5 to 7, right here 93 WIBC. Who, before we play this clip, who is Barry Todd, and why were you talking to him?
Yeah, Barry Todd is a guy about my age, long military career, retired after 21 years as an Army Ranger, then built a very successful financial advisory firm, and registered to do business all over the country, opened multiple offices all over the country. Then one night was out with his wife just for a fun evening, having some cocktails, singing karaoke. Some drunk, belligerent, big, huge guy starts making advances on Barry's wife. And at one point, Barry leaves just to go out to his car, actually, to get some Copenhagen. He's trying to come back in the bar to rejoin his wife, and this big drunk guy won't let him in the bar. And he's like, "What are you doing?" "I'm going back in to see my wife." And he goes, "No, she's mine, man," using some more colorful language.
Where was this at?
This is in Arizona, in Yuma, Arizona.
Okay.
And they get into a scuffle, and Barry had a gun, and they get into it with this big guy who physically attacks him. Broke his arm, by the way. Broke Barry Todd's arm. He fights back. Eventually has his gun. Gun goes off. The other guy goes to the hospital. He survives, but it's a clear case of self-defense.
Clearly.
You would think, after Barry's attacked by this
case of this guy
drunken guy
being a drunk a-hole.
Yes, totally, completely.
But not that that's an excuse to use a firearm, but he was attacking.
The whole thing's on video, which clearly substantiates self-defense. Nonetheless, Barry Todd is prosecuted. He's prosecuted for attempted murder and 2 counts of aggravated battery. He goes through several years, hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars of legal expense and expert witness expense and investigator expense, and eventually gets this thing dismissed. But he wrote a book, and it's called Stand Your Ground, One Man's Self-Defense Nightmare. And he talks about how even when you're right, because of an aggressive prosecutor who clearly was ignoring the law of self-defense in Arizona, they can absolutely destroy your life even when you're innocent. And it was such a powerful message and an important one. And it's very consistent with what I teach in my classes all the time and have for 30 years, of how you don't want to get caught up in one of these if you can avoid it, because the system can just eat you up where they accuse you of crimes that you really didn't commit.
My blood was boiling listening to it. It really pisses you off. Whoever this prosecutor was, I'm sure, has the same agenda as a Ryan Mears type prosecutor in terms of guns and how in the world. What I wanted to know, what I wanted to call in and ask is like, you have the video. What more do you need to know?
Well, get this. They submit the prosecutor submits it to a grand jury, and their job is to decide whether there's probable cause to prosecute him for a crime, right? He submits it to a grand jury, argues about how he committed the crimes of attempted murder and aggravated battery, never shows the grand jury the video of the actual incident itself. Doesn't show him the video. And the jury finds probable cause, having just heard one side of the story and not having even seen the video of the event, much less the video from inside the bar that shows this guy being aggressive and, and basically following Barry around the bar and bothering his wife and just instigating things from the get-go. Doesn't show the grand jury any of this. The grand jury, not having seen all the relevant evidence, finds probable cause, and now he's in the system, man. Now he's paying lawyers, paying investigators, paying expert witnesses, and costs him an unbelievable amount of money.
And is that what this clip is, talking about some of the costs?
Some of the costs, but also some of the lessons he learned.
The amount of dollars that we spent on this is astronomical. And the lessons I learned, number one, know the laws in the state where you're carrying. And my wife and I were licensed in about 41 states. And as soon as you cross there, get an app on your phone so you know it. Number two, carry the insurance.
Yeah.
Carry good self-defense insurance. Number 3, don't talk to the police. Don't give it to them. I don't think it really hurt me. But then again, just follow what the lawyers tell you. You don't say nothing without your lawyer there. And then number 4, and this is the most important, remember, the attorneys, the private eyes, the expert witnesses, they work for you, all right? You're the one writing the check. No matter, they're going to give you their opinion that you do not always have to take it. And you have to check their work and hold them accountable. And if they have a problem with that, then you probably need to fire them in the first place.
Where can people, first of all, listen to this interview? He wrote a book, right?
He wrote a book called Stand Your Ground, One Man's Self-Defense Nightmare.
But you got to go back and listen to this interview you did with this guy.
It's a good interview.
Great interview.
It's posted on my page on WIBC. You go to WIBC, go to shows, then the gun guy. It'll be that. We actually broke out his interview as a separate podcast. You don't have to listen to the whole show if you don't want to, or the whole show's there if you want to listen to that too. But the Barry Todd interview we broke out separately, and then also you can buy, if you're interested in buying his book. I have no financial interest in this other than I read the book and it's fascinating. As somebody who carries a gun every day, it's a must read, and it's called StandYourGroundBook.com. You can go there, or it's on Amazon.
Coming up at 4 o'clock, Rob Kendall was not in today. He was off today, but today something big happened that he was very passionate about. Is this special session? Lawmakers getting back to the State House for redistricting. Governor Mike Braun calling that special session. Rob Kendall very passionate about this. We're going to get his reaction and his take and see what he thinks coming up a little bit after 4 o'clock here on the Hammer and Nigel Show. Hammer and Nigel Show, only use the best. When I'm talking about the best, I'm talking about American Standard Heating and Air. They're built to a higher standard. Here's Hammer to tell you about one of those local independent American Standard dealers in Central Indy.
Price Point Comfort, your locally owned American Standard Heating and Air Conditioning dealer that will give you the right price guarantee. They promise not to oversell or pressure you into buying a bunch of stuff you don't need. They don't do that at Price Point. You get exactly what you're looking for. They can make some recommendations, but it's totally up to you. Price Point Comfort strives for customer satisfaction, so find them online. PricePointComfort.com. That's PricePointComfort.com, or give them a call, 317-455-1124. You can ask for James or Tyler. James or Tyler at Price Point Comfort. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you. Price Point Comfort, your independent American Standard heating and air dealer built to a higher standard.
The deals are happening at Andy Moore Ford in Plainfield. That's where you get your next Ford car, truck, electric vehicle, or fleet vehicle. More savings, more selection, and more for your trade. Drive off in a new Ford F-150 for 3.9% APR, or lease for $401 a month. It's your choice. You can get a new Bronco Sport for just $381 a month. Get more before it's gone. And routine maintenance plans are available to keep things simple and convenient. And don't forget, get more to your door. Just shop online, and Andy Moore will deliver directly to you. Andy Moore Ford in Plainfield. For your car, for your truck, for your fleet vehicle, and of course, that service. Just go to AndyMooreFord.com, set up your service, they'll pick up your car, take perfect care of it, and bring it right back to you. Andy Moore Ford, 2713 East Main Street in Plainfield. Stop into the showroom and tell them Tony Katz sent you, or online at AndyMooreFord.com. That's Andy Moore, M-O-H-R. I love Andy. AndyMooreFord.com.
Bet365 is paying out before the final whistle.
Check out Bet365's unrivaled early payout offer. When you bet on a team to win and they take a 17-point lead, you get paid no matter the final score. Forget the final whistle and start counting that cash. Hold up. You get early payout on parlays, too.
Download the app and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Indiana. T&Cs apply.
An official message from Medicare.
Medicare plans change from one year to the next. And this year, it's important for you to review your current coverage and compare all your options during Medicare open enrollment. Compare health plans, drug coverage, and costs. See if you can save some money, and don't forget to make sure your drugs are covered. Open enrollment ends December 7th. Visit Medicare.gov or call 1-800-MEDICARE.
Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Hi, I'm Dustin, your friend and jeweler at Shane Company. As director of diamond sourcing, it's my job to make sure every single diamond is worthy of a Shane Company engagement ring. Our team travels the world to see diamonds in person and handpick each one. That type of dedication only comes from working for a company that's been a family business since 1929. No matter your budget, your diamond is guaranteed to be the most beautiful because a friend wants you to pick from only the best. Drop by your store or shaneco.com and see for yourself. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Truck drivers, don't miss out on the unmatched consistency of a Schneider driving job. At Schneider, you can find a driving position that fits your lifestyle and goals, all while getting the pay you deserve. Plus, Schneider drivers operate state-of-the-art, well-maintained equipment and have access to award-winning benefits and a 24/7 support team. Explore Schneider's huge selection of driving jobs today and find your perfect fit at SchneiderJobs.com. That's SchneiderJobs.com.
Coming up in 2 minutes from the Technology Recyclers Studios, Indiana's governor discussed his decision to call a special session on redistricting today, why it's also important to remember that other bills can be reviewed during the special session, and how the weather will roll out in the coming days. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis, and it is now 4 o'clock.
A split decision from the judge. Lisa Brady, Fox News. In the latest court hearing about Charlie Kirk's accused killer, Tyler Robinson, the defense wants him to wear civilian clothing during future court appearances, arguing that being dressed as an inmate could affect presumption of innocence. Utah 4th District Judge Tony Graff.
Images of Mr. Robinson in jail clothing are likely to circulate widely and influence prospective jurors. Given the scale of that publicity, the risk of prejudice is significant.
He's granting the motion for civilian clothing, but he's also denying a separate defense motion for Robinson to appear without shackles, instead ordering the use of the least restrictive restraints possible without compromising safety, and that the restraints not be photographed or videotaped by the media. A man arrested in Minnesota is accused of posting a deadly threat against U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi. The FBI finding the 29-year-old suspect with help from Google, TikTok, and Comcast. The body of another hostage is being released by Hamas in Gaza.
Once this process is complete, there will still be 12 remains that have to be recovered as phase 1 of this agreement is still underway. Over the weekend, President Trump posted a Truth Social saying, in part, quote, "We have a very strong peace in the Middle East, and I believe it has a good chance of being everlasting. Hamas is going to have to start returning the bodies of the deceased hostages, including 2 Americans, quickly, or the other countries involved in this great peace will take action."
Fox's Trey Yingst. Israeli officials are allowing an Egyptian team to assist with locating hostage remains. After meeting in Tokyo today with Japan's new prime minister, President Trump sounding optimistic about his meeting later this week with China's president. There's already a framework to de-escalate trade tensions, and it's a record day on Wall Street. The Dow up 337 at the bell. America is listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Indiana Governor Mike Braun called a special session on redistricting. You've got partly cloudy skies and 63 degrees in downtown Indy. I'm Jake McDaniel. Here's what's trending at 4:02. And after that, Braun gave more insight as to why he's chosen to do that. John Herrick reports.
In a Monday interview on Tony Katz Today, Braun said he's sick and tired of seeing Democrat-run states like California and Illinois gerrymander to try and gain an upper hand.
They don't want the playing field even. I think once this got to where it goes public, you'll have people getting off the fence, and you're going to see the votes will be there.
Braun says Democrats have not played by the rules for a long time, and he believes Republicans are just trying to even the playing field. John Herrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
And redistricting is not the only thing that will be addressed in Indiana's upcoming special session. Governor Braun says he also plans on addressing the state's tax code. Indiana Republican Representative Andrew Ireland says he knows Hoosiers are upset with their property taxes, among other things.
I
I voted against SB1 as well because I had some concerns there. At the end of the day, whether we do it now or we do it next session, I think it is something that we have to continue to address because there's a lot more work to do.
Talking to WIBC's Kendall and Casey, while much of the state will see rain this week, the highest chances are concentrated in the south.
You're located in southern portions of Indiana. You're much higher chance of rain for both Tuesday and Tuesday night through Wednesday. And then the further north you go, the chance is just lower.
Aaron Updike with the National Weather Service in Indianapolis says with temperatures dropping back into the 50s midweek, it will also get windy, so be sure to secure any outdoor items, even Halloween decorations. AAA says average Indiana gas price today is $3.04, and the Indianapolis Colts are 7-1 after a 38-14 win over the Tennessee Titans yesterday. They play the Pittsburgh Steelers this coming Sunday. Kickoff is set for 1 o'clock. WIBC News Time is 4:04. You've got traffic and weather in 1 minute.
It's time. You've been putting off that kitchen or bath remodel long enough. What are you waiting for? Get started today with Boer Remodeling. Boer Remodeling customer Kathy had a bath remodel with Boer. Kathy, talk a little bit about your experience.
Our experience with Boer has been terrific. The process was so easy and seamless. When we decided to do a larger remodel of our first floor, Boer was the first company we thought of hiring.
And were you happy with the results?
The results are amazing, and we are so happy with our home and the work that Boer did.
Peter is another recent Boer Remodeling customer with a new kitchen. Peter, what was the best part about working with Boer?
We especially liked the active participation that we were able to have in selection of stone for the countertops. Really came out beautiful. The cabinets also came out very, very well.
The best materials, the most skilled craftsmen in Central Indiana. They'll guide you through the entire process. Start with a free consultation. Talk to Boer Remodeling today. That's BOOHER, BoerRemodeling.com.
You've got WIBC traffic at 4:05 with Matt Baer.
North side, eastbound 465, stop and go traffic 865 over to Ditch. Inbound 69 slows at 96. Northbound 465 on the east side, slow Penn Pike up to I-69. Inbound 65, a little tight around 21st to west. Eastbound 70, stop and go traffic Harding Street into the south split. And the construction zone southbound 65 70 jammed up Michigan Street to Washington Street. Northbound lane slow from Raymond into the south split. Crash Emerson Avenue at Southport Road. Another crash on the south side. US at 31 at East Elbert. That's just to the south of 465 on 31. Traffic sponsored by Staples. Have you heard the Staples Easy button is back with even more easy? Press it for custom print shipping services, even passport photos. Staples. That was easy. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And now the forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
We are tracking a mostly cloudy and dry Monday night. Low temperatures will be down to the mid-40s. Tuesday, expect more mostly cloudy skies and breezy winds as high temperatures get into the upper 50s to lower 60s. And then this leads the way to a cooler and even more breezy Wednesday with the return of rain showers. Rain will be confined to along and south of Interstate 70 through the day. High temperatures will be in the low 50s Wednesday afternoon. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Stephen Deanna for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Jake McDaniel on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos?
So let's rock it!
My name is Nigel. Jason Hammer is out. The gun guy, Guy Relford, is in. Well, he did it. Governor Braun calling a special session, I believe, at the beginning of November 3rd, for redistricting. On the hotline right now to discuss his passion for this topic. So passionate, he didn't even show up to work today, but he's still calling in. Rob Kendall from the Kendall and Casey Show. Rob, I've heard arguments for redistricting. I've heard your passionate arguments against redistricting. Can we just start like a quick reset of what that even means and what's going on here?
Well, first of all, my passion against this is the Republicans lie and fail all the time. And if you give them these new maps without them having to earn elections, they will just keep governing poorly. It's just like your kid, right? If your kid misbehaves, you have to discipline them. If you just keep giving them stuff, they're going to keep misbehaving. And what the Republicans are saying is, look, we can't win the 1st congressional district fairly because we govern so poorly, both at a state and federal level, that people don't believe in us and don't want to vote for us and put us in power or keep us in power or give us this seat. So what we'll do is we'll just alter the map so we get it anyway. What incentive do the Republicans have to follow through and keep their promises to people if they can just change the rules of the game in the middle of the process?
What about the argument? And here's what I keep hearing. Fighting fire with fire. Fight back. The Democrats do the same thing. We need to get down in the dirt here. What about that argument?
So my question would be, fight back against what? Because we keep hearing Braun and Micah and these people in the General Assembly talk about Massachusetts. I've yet to see a single person who can draw me a quote-unquote fair map that shows these Republican seats in Massachusetts. The best you can do, I have a friend who's very good at this and believes the Indiana maps are fair 7-2, and he's a former newspaper writer up in northern Indiana. He tried to do this, and the best he could create was one swing district. Like the best he could do under the best of circumstances. See, these people flap their gums about unfair this, unfair that. I saw people punching, well, in the northeastern part of the country, Vermont has one representative. Are you saying that person should be a Republican? Rhode Island has two. Are you saying based on the makeup of their state that one of those people should be Republican? The argument is ridiculous. All of these states gerrymander. Indiana is already gerrymandered. Our state is 60-40 based on the presidential election Republican. 78% of our seats in Congress are Republican.
Yes.
We've already tilted the map in favor of this. And all this whining about Andre Carson. Oh, Marion County. County, Nigel. They just rigged the map. They just moved the map in favor more of Carson so that they could save Sparks a couple years ago. It's utterly ridiculous that they keep whining about this when they're the ones who did it.
Here's my question for you. What's wrong with getting one or two more Republican seats? I mean, you've kind of laid out the argument. I understand that. But, when all is said and done, 2 more Republican seats could be a good thing.
Okay, well, let's admit what we're doing then.
Okay.
Like whoever is the presidential election that gets all the seats. I mean, that's basically what we're doing in this country. And my question to people would be, what does giving you 2 more Jefferson Shreves get you? Like, how is your life going to get any better? Because it's going to be that Jennifer Ruth Green woman. The reports are out that she's pondering running. Like, they're not. You're not going to have Thomas Massey's in there. And so my question is, what did the Republicans do this year? They wasted all this time on this big bullcrap bill. It added trillions more to the debt. It legalized vote buying, the crony capitalism, rewarding the donors and lobbyists. Everything's still getting more expensive. What does this exercise produce here where we're giving away all of our integrity? So what? We can have 2 more squish Republicans who screw us some more. Like, is that really worth all this fight?
We're speaking with Rob Kendall from the Kendall and Casey Show, kind enough to call us on his day off because he's very passionate about this topic. Governor Braun calling a special session for redistricting, redrawing the maps, maybe getting 1 or 2 more Republican seats. Okay, let's talk about the top of the food chain here in the state legislature. What do you call them, Rod and Todd? Is that, or the
Flanders boys?
The Flanders boys?
Flanders boys.
Who?
So for those who don't know, Nigel, Ned Flanders is the neighbor on The Simpsons,
yes,
and his boys are named Rod and Todd. So Todd Houston, Speaker of the House, Rod Bray, Pro Tem of the Senate, we call them the Flanders boys.
Do they want any part of this at all?
No, and I think this is what's going to be fascinating because you have seen the legislature post-Holcomb try to reestablish dominance over the governor. We saw the same thing when Pence came in after Daniels. Now, that was David Long and Brian Bosma. And I think, I think they'll ultimately get it done because I just don't – it would be so embarrassing at this point if it failed.
Yeah.
But it's really going to be up to Rod Bray to decide what sort of dominance he wants to assert because Houston has essentially alluded to they have the votes in the House. But, look, right now they're at 12. The math that I did is 12. They got to get to 25 so that Braun's errand boy Micah can bend the knee and cast the vote as the tie-breaking vote. So they got to get to 25. And so you're basically 13 short, and we'll see what sort of dominance Bray wants to exert over his caucus. I mean, it would not surprise me if he didn't let it go forward, but I ultimately think it will.
And you think this will ultimately pass, and you think the lines will get redrawn?
Well, I think the pressure for insanity is too great, and they're totally afraid of Trump. And look, this is what everybody needs to realize.
Yeah, that was my next question. You kept on mentioning the word dominance, because it goes above, Rod and Todd. It goes to J.D. Vance paying 2 visits to Indiana and the State House. It goes to Indiana Republicans going to the White House. I'm interested to know what the tipping point was for this decision to call a special session.
Well, they're petrified of Trump, and Trump clearly threatened them. I mean, this is pathetic at this point. They were clearly threatened with lack of funding for something. I mean, that kept being Ron said. He's like, well, we don't want to get on the wrong side of the Trump administration. Like, who cares? Now, this is what should enrage everyone, is the signature issue in this state for the past year and a half, really 2 years, has been property taxes.
Yes.
And they screwed everyone. These people who are so gun-ho screwed everyone on property taxes. And then when Braun got asked about, hey, why don't you veto this and call a special session and fight for us, he goes, no point. Yeah. There's no point. He's calling the special session without the votes. Now, they may ultimately get the votes, but he's calling this special session without the votes. So they won't lift a finger to help you. They won't lift a finger to fight for you and ensure you can afford to stay in your home. But when it comes to being subservient to Donald Trump, which they all admit this is a wholly political act, they will go to the ends of the earth to do that. And that should tell everybody what they actually think about you. These people don't give a damn about you.
I will say on a larger scale here, you've always been one to say that Indiana needs a more robust Democrat Party, only if to hold the Republicans that are in power in check and make sure the Republicans are working in the citizens' best interests instead of their own.
Yeah, and this is maybe the one thing that comes out of this is, and I've seen from a lot of people, and it's anecdotal evidence, who see what's going on. The one good thing that may come out of this is it may piss enough people off that the big enchilada next year is getting rid of Diego Morales. And Bobai is sort of the Custer's last stand for the Democrats if they can't win with that guy and all the money he's going to bring, and as bad a candidate as Diego is. So the one good thing that may come out of this is that it may motivate enough people to say, we're done here. Like, it is just so egregious, Nigel, that there's all these issues facing our state. People are getting screwed. Gas taxes, property taxes, utility bills. I mean, bad governance, collective, the IEDC.
Property taxes.
Yeah, I mean, like all of these things. And they're not doing anything to help with that. And Andrew Ireland was on with with Jim and Casey this morning, and she asked him about, like, well, are you going to bring anything up? Yeah, probably not. And it's like, so even the people that are supposed to be these great liberty people, they're not going to do anything in this special session. It's always party. It's always them. It's always the benefit of them. It's never the benefit of you. And it amazes me that after getting screwed so many times by the state party and these people in Washington, that there's still people who are super excited about this exercise.
That's Rob Kendall from the Kendall and Casey Show. His take on the announcement earlier this morning from Governor Braun calling a special session, going to redraw the district lines, redistricting here. At least they're going to vote on it and call a special session. Hey, man, I know it's your day off. I know you're doing some important stuff right now. So thank you so much for taking the time out and giving us your perspective.
Yeah, thanks, Nudge.
Matt Bear's got to look at traffic.
Southbound 6570 downtown, crash at Michigan Street, and it's blocking the right lane, causing stop-and-go traffic back to the north split, reported as a motorcycle crash. Please be careful moving through there. It's a construction zone eventually. Southbound 65 slow west to the north split. Eastbound 70 slow west to the south split. And southbound 65 on the south side slow from Raymond past Keystone Avenue. Inbound 69 slow at 96, and northbound 465 east side slow, Ben Pike up to I-69 crash west side west 34th at Allison Avenue. Traffic sponsored by Staples. Have you heard the Staples Easy button is back with even more easy? Press it for custom print shipping services, even passport photos. Staples, that was easy. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Guy Relford is filling in for Hammer. My name is Nigel. Do you want to do, as long as you're here today, do you want to do a couple of Ask the Gun Guy segments?
Always, man. I love doing Ask the Gun Guy segments. 2A
attorney, licensed firearms instructor. Do you want to plan on doing that a little bit after 4:30, after the news?
That's perfect. Man, the Hammer and Nigel listening audience is so good calling in on that. We get great questions, and it's always a fun discussion.
The phones are just slammed. So
you bet.
What we'll do, Is This Anything next? And then at 4:30, we'll get ready for Ask the Gun Guy. Right now, 64 and cloudy at the American Standard Heating Weather Center, 93 WIBC. Hey, it goes without saying, Mark Dietel is the only local real estate agent I'd trust to sell my home. Michael in Speedway loved his Speedway home. He was raised there. His family was there, but it was time to sell and downsize. He met up with the Mark Dietel team, and after just 3 days on the market, he accepted an offer for $11,000 over asking price. Simply put, Mark Dietel and his team are the best.
Mark Dietel guarantees your home sold at a mutually agreed upon price and deadline, or he will buy it. You pick the move date, no long-term contracts. You can cancel at any time. Nobody does it better than Mark Dietel. Contact him today, 317-755-4232. 755-4232, or go to markdietel.com. That's Mark, D-I-E-T-E-L, markdietel.com.
Comcast Business can help turn your small business into a connected, secure, modern business. It's how retailers become constantly connecting must-visit shops. How restaurants become reliably up and running neighborhood favorites. How healthcare offices become the data-protecting caregivers that we all depend on. And how wealth management firms become cyber-securing guardians of your information. With reliable connectivity, enhanced cybersecurity, and Wi-Fi backup, your business can stay connected and get threat-ready with Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Get started with our reliable business internet. Plus, stay connected when you add Wi-Fi backup for just $35 a month. And ask about a $400 prepaid card on a qualifying gig bundle. Call today. Restrictions apply. Wireless Connect requires business internet for additional monthly charge. Taxes and other fees extra. Prepaid card offer ends 11/16/25.
Pat Sullivan here with a weather update. It's October, and we still have no clue if your AC should be blasting or your furnace needs to start kicking. Better have both prepared with a $49 AC unit and furnace maintenance from Hope Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Is it sweater weather or tank top weather? Nobody knows. But we do know that you can ensure total comfort inside your home for only $49. Call my friends at Hope Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling today.
Stuck in a job that just isn't getting it done? Maybe it's time to go for IT. Whether you're just starting out, switching careers, or a military veteran ready for change, My Computer Career can help you launch a rewarding career in IT in months. No prior experience needed. Why spend years getting a traditional degree when your future in IT can start right now? Take the free career evaluation at mycomputercareer.edu today. Your most powerful upgrade? Your career. Go for it. Go for IT. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
It's Cybersecurity Awareness Month. LifeLock is here with tips to help protect your identity. Use strong passwords, set up multi-factor authentication, report scams, and update your software. And for comprehensive identity protection, LifeLock is your best choice. LifeLock alerts you to suspicious uses of your personal information and fixes identity theft, guaranteed, or your money back. Start your protection today with a 30-day free trial at LifeLock.com. Use promo code NEWS. Terms apply.
Tune in to the Absolute Retirement Planning Show.
When retirement comes about, we're now relying on what we have saved to meet those needs.
Sundays at 9 a.m. right here on 93 WIBC.
This hour powered by Stevenson Heating and Cooling, your American Standard air dealer serving Johnson and Morgan counties.
Hammer and Nigel presents
It depends upon what the meaning of the word is.
Is this anything?
All right, let's rock and roll.
And brought to you by Indiana Unclaimed, presented by the Attorney General's Office, reuniting Hoosiers with over $1 million in unclaimed property every single week. Fast, easy, and free to search at indianaunclaimed.gov. I believe Guy Relford, who is filling in for Hammer, has been the recipient of a couple of $1,000s from Indiana Unclaimed.
Oh, I'm a huge fan, man. In fact, I texted the Attorney General and said, I sent him a picture of my check. That was a couple of old bank accounts that have been sitting around since I was a teenager or younger. And it was like, it was over $2,500 I got from Indiana Unclaimed. Big deal.
So Hammer usually asks me, I'm going to switch around and ask you, is this anything?
You bet.
That's all right? All right, we're going to switch it up today. We're going to have some fun. 2 police dispatchers in New Hampshire injured as they attempted to stop a man wearing only a Speedo and a hat who was trying to get into the dispatcher's building. Here is Hillsborough County Sheriff. His name's Brian Newcomb, talking about the attack.
One of our dispatchers was coming in for work and was accosted by Mr. Nickerson when she was trying to get inside the building. Typically, they're here rendering assistance over the phone and over the radio for people that are calling 911 or have an emergency that they need assistance for, and they found themselves needing assistance here.
Yeah, who do you call then? You're the dispatcher.
Yeah, right.
Who in the world do you call? Is this anything? Basically, naked guy in a Speedo trying to break into the dispatcher's building, dummy.
Yeah, well, that's definitely something. You know, I was teaching one of my self-defense classes one time, and I had a guy say in an open class, he goes, yeah, if somebody breaks in my house, first thing I'm going to do is take all my clothes off because nobody wants to fight a naked guy.
Well, that's the thing with any one of these stories that we do, a lewd nude dude in the news, or even a guy wearing a Speedo trying to break into a 911 dispatcher. There's always drugs involved. What is it with drugs, hard drugs, and nudity that
take
go
your clothes
hand
off.
in hand?
Yeah, you get really wasted, and the first thing you want to do is take your clothes off. You know, it could be because the way so many people look naked, that's the only way they can really bear to be naked is once they get really messed up on whatever it is they're taking.
There's a legendary viral video out there on YouTube. They call him the Naked Ninja, I think. Happened downtown Indianapolis several years ago, where the guy was completely naked. I want to say it was on Washington and Meridian, maybe somewhere centrally located downtown. And the IMPD had this, I mean, he was so effed up on drugs. And this guy's gotten in touch with me before.
Oh, man.
And he's cleaned up his act. He got arrested. He's fine. It's been years since I've heard from him, but he got in touch with me, wanted to get interviewed, and we kind of passed on it. But there were several reasons for that. But he fought off, I don't know, 5 IMPD officers,
a naked guy,
tasers, everything, naked ninja. I mean,
wow.
They couldn't get this guy. Now, eventually down the road, they got this guy, but I don't know what it is about drugs and getting nude that correlate. But and especially when you're all messed up on meth or whatever he was taking, those tasers don't work, man.
Yeah,
they don't work.
Well, I've seen them fail, and I've seen many videos of them failing.
Why do they fail? Like just because the drugs are in the system and your adrenaline's flowing and.
I think that's it. Although neurologically, the way a taser is supposed to work, it's just supposed to freeze up your whole neural system. And
have you ever been tased? Like
oh
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I did it voluntarily. I had 2 people holding me and got tased. And
not a pleasant experience.
Oh no, your whole body just locks up, and you just face plant. Man, you got no ability to that's why they have somebody holding you when you do it. No, it's not a pleasant experience. But yeah, no, I've seen them fail. Well, I think more often than just drugs or whatnot, it's where actually it's the opposite of where naked people are able to resist it because the darts that come out of a taser maybe don't adequately penetrate clothing. I've seen that happen because you got to make contact with the skin for them to actually work. But why they wouldn't work on a naked guy because of drugs, I don't know. There's got to be somebody out there more sophisticated than me in law enforcement who can answer that.
We'll stay in the realm of law enforcement here for Is This Anything? There's a place where cops want you to get hammered and drunk in front of them. Listen to this.
This is what they call a wet lab. They get a bunch of volunteers to come in and drink.
Terry, I need you to go have a double.
And so they get a double drink until they have the right BAC level according to the breathalyzer. Now we'll see if any of the people who were drinking can pass the sobriety test. The guy who had the most to drink had 14 drinks over about 2.5 hours. Yeah, he didn't pass the test. Neither did anybody else. The cadets said that they would have arrested every single person who was in that room drinking if they were stopped on the side of the road. Don't drink and drive. That's the important message. The cops can tell.
So sounds like, Is This Anything, guy? It sounds like some sort of police training exercise where they have a controlled environment where they will solicit volunteers to come in and get drunk.
Yeah,
and
no,
then
I've seen this. In fact, there are several videos out there, and it's really meant as an educational exercise in the sense that a lot of people believe they can have, 6, 8, 10 beers or however many shots or whatever it is that their drink of preference, and still be able to drive just fine and pass sobriety tests and whatnot. A lot of people say, I hold my liquor. And I think this is a way of educating people to say, you know what, you're going to fail to pass the sobriety test and failed to pass a breathalyzer much earlier and with much fewer cocktails than what you thought. So I think it's a valuable exercise for people to really learn a valuable lesson.
Should we start taking some phone calls here for Ask the Gun Guy?
Hell yeah.
239-9393. My name is Nigel. Guy Relford is filling in for Hammer. He is a two-way attorney, licensed firearms instructor, and and you've been here 10 years, right?
I have. I've had my show for 10 years.
Okay. Yeah. So, I've known you before.
Yeah.
We started. You used to come on our podcast. At
Coach's Tavern. That was so much fun.
We go way back. So, whenever you fill in, it's a popular segment. Ask the Gun Guy. If you have a gun-related question, what type of questions do you take?
Oh yeah, I mean our discussion about Barry Todd and the self-defense book.
Always a big one.
When you can use force in self-defense, when you can't. Other gun-related questions. There's always people always have legal questions about when you can use your gun, when you can use force. They have people have training questions or expungements, restorations. There's just the list goes on and on and on.
So get in line now because the phones fill up pretty quick. 317-239-9393. Ask the Gun Guy if you've got a question. A two-way question, whatever Guy just described, 239-9393. We'll get to that next. It's the Hammer Nigel Show. To say I love my Galaxy Concrete coating in my garage would be a major understatement. In fact, my Galaxy Concrete garage floor is out of this world. Night and day the difference between my 40-year-old unmaintained, cracked, stained, dirty garage floor and what Galaxy Concrete Coatings came in and did within a day, changed it. It's stronger hold. The color's not going to fade. It's easy to clean. Lifetime warranty and super staff. They did it within a day, man. It was awesome. In fact, I loved them so much I had them come back in and do my concrete floor in the utility room in my basement. Galaxy Concrete Coatings. Go to galaxyconcretecoatings.com or give them a call, 751-9070. Tell them Nigel sent you.
Nobody cares for you like family. Family Heating and Air.
We set out to be the very best of the best, and the past couple years we've actually achieved that. For all of the state of Indiana, we've been awarded the Dealer of the Year award twice now. Unlike other brands, that only gets handed to one dealer every year, and we're very proud to have won that twice.
Put the best to work for you at FamilyHVAC.net. Family Heating and Air is your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
An official message from Medicare.
Couple more minutes, and we'll start this month's book club.
You know, I usually love a plot twist, but this year, I'm comparing my options during Medicare open enrollment.
You can't assume your current health or drug plan is the best one for you.
And you gotta make sure your drugs are covered. That's important.
So is saving money.
Review all your options at Medicare.gov. Open enrollment ends December 7th. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level. On the go.
What's happening now that the government shutdown is in its fourth week? You've got partly cloudy skies and 62 degrees. I'm Jake McDaniel. Here's what's trending at 4:31. The Senate is back in town, but they don't have any new votes set to fix the problem. This comes after efforts to reopen the government failed for the 12th time just last week. The biggest concern now is the clock. Funding for food assistance for about 42 million people is set to expire this Saturday. Hurricane Melissa is on its way to Jamaica, and it's set to touch down tomorrow morning as a devastating Category 5 storm. Forecasters are warning that the storm, currently the most powerful in the region since 1988, will bring massive flooding and winds over 160 miles per hour. A judge in Utah is about to decide whether the man accused of killing conservative activist Charlie Kirk can wear civilian clothes in the courtroom instead of jail attire.
Judge Tony Graff ruling in favor of the defense's motion to allow Tyler Robinson to wear plain clothes at court proceedings.
The court finds that Mr. Robinson's right to the presumption of innocence
outweighs the minimal inconvenience of permitting civilian attire.
But denying the defense's motion to allow him to appear without physical restraints, citing safety.
If those restraints impede the defendant's ability to communicate with counsel or take notes, counsel may renew the motion.
Restricting recording or photography of Robinson's restraints. The 22-year-old faces charges including aggravated murder.
Fox's Kristen Goodwin reporting the judge is expected to make a ruling on that motion today, and the next public hearing is set for Wednesday. Indianapolis police say a man on a bike was hit by a car this morning near Indiana Bible College. He was taken to a hospital and later died.
It's just important to remind bicyclists and pedestrians, if you're going to be walking on the roadways at night, make sure you're wearing light-colored, reflective clothing.
IMPD Sergeant Amanda Hipschman says the crash happened just east of Shelby Street and south of Troy Street. And Game 3 of the World Series is set for 8 o'clock Eastern tonight. The LA Dodgers and Toronto Blue Jays are tied at 1 game apiece. With your WIBC closing bell report, the Dow gained 337 points to 47,544. The S&P 500 rose 83 points to 6875. The NASDAQ went up 432 points to 23,637. Time is 4:34. You've got traffic and weather in 1 minute.
If you're experiencing a hardship and need to quickly sell your home, we may be able to help. Simple Quarters has helped over 3,000 families sell their homes in Indiana.
Simple Quarters has helped me by allowing me to sell my house. It's given me the financial stability to be able to move and go on with that next chapter. Simple Quarters was the best option for me because there was no BS involved. It was simply straightforward, to the point, honesty. And that is what made me go with Simple Quarters. There was nothing that I didn't expect. They didn't have hidden fees. They didn't ask me to go get an appraisal. They didn't ask me to have a surveyor come out. This has probably been one of the easiest experiences in my life. And if I ever have to do it again, I would call Simple Quarters again. Simple Quarters absolutely kept their word through the whole process.
Call Simple Quarters 317-900-HOME. 317-900-HOME.
With your traffic at 4:35, here's Matt Bear.
Southbound 65, 70 downtown crash before Washington Street. 2 right lanes are blocked, and traffic is stopped back to the north split. Westbound 70 slowing down into the north split because of that crash. Inbound 65 slow after 21st to Meridian. Eastbound 70 slow before West Street into the south split. East side northbound 465 stop and go traffic after I-70 up to I-69. Crash west side 34th at Allison Avenue. Traffic sponsored by Drexel Interiors. Drexel Interiors has teamed up with Mohawk for Breast Cancer Awareness Month. A portion of October's Mohawk sales will be donated to the Susan G. Komen Foundation. Visit either showroom or DrexelIN.com today. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And now the forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
We are tracking a mostly cloudy and dry Monday night. Low temperatures will be down to the mid-40s. Tuesday, expect more mostly cloudy skies and breezy winds as high temperatures get into the upper 50s to lower 60s. Cooler and even more breezy Wednesday with the return of rain showers. High temperatures will be in the low 50s Wednesday afternoon. I'm with TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Stephen Deanna for 93 WIBC.
I'm Jake McDaniel on the level on the go and on WIBC.com.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Yeah, I'm Nigel. Hammer's out. The gun guy, Guy Relford, licensed firearms instructor, 2A attorney, filling in. And whenever he fills in, we like to do Ask the Gun Guy, where you call in and have any type of questions relating to law enforcement, guns, Second Amendment, and I'll let you take it, Guy. You got the phone bank. You got the names right there in front of you. 239-9393 if you'd like to call in.
Absolutely. We still do have a phone line or two open so people can call. Let's go to the phone lines. And Jim, thanks for calling Hammer and Nigel. What you got?
Hey, thanks for taking my call, gun guy.
Sure.
Appreciate that. I had a question about Second Amendment carry. I'd like to know if there's any reciprocity between states with a Second Amendment carry.
Yeah, and a lot of people call that constitutional carry, Jim, or permitless carry, and it's not so much reciprocity so much as a lot of different states. In fact, we're up to 30 states. I believe we're right at 30 that have passed constitutional carry. Each of them that have passed it this is permitless carry, meaning you can carry a handgun without a license, just so everybody's clear on what we're talking about. And those 30 states that have passed it now all recognize it for non-residents. So that, I would say, that meets the definition of what you're talking about, which is reciprocity, meaning like if they've passed constitutional carry, North Dakota, by the way, was the exception to this. They made it for North Dakota residents only, and then here a summer or two ago they changed that and made it open to everyone, including non-residents. So, for instance, Kentucky has constitutional carry, and they have that applicable to non-residents. So as an Indiana resident, I can travel to Kentucky and I can carry my handgun under their constitutional carry law. In addition, they recognize the Indiana license to carry, and since I have one of those, I really essentially have a belt and suspenders as far as being protected by carrying in Kentucky. That's just one example, but we're up to 30 states now that have passed constitutional carry.
It's incredible.
It is pretty cool. Let's go back to the phone lines, and Tim has called. Tim, welcome to Hammer and Nigel.
Hey, guy, kind of a two-part question.
Sure.
So a couple years ago, my stepfather died, and my mother gave me one of his old handguns. Does that have to be registered, or am I legally allowed to carry it?
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, Tim, we don't have gun registration in Indiana, and there's no registration requirement at the federal law, except when you're talking about things regulated by the National Firearms Act, which is like machine guns and suppressors, short-barreled rifles, etc. So if it's just a typical handgun, there is no registration. You couldn't register it if you wanted to. Some police departments locally, if you go in and say, I want to register my gun, quote unquote, they'll, take the information, serial number, make, model, and whatnot, and keep it on a list. But there's no statewide registration. So the answer to your question is no, there's nothing you need to do. And our carry law, both constitutional carry and our license to carry in Indiana, both mean you can carry any gun you lawfully possess, and you receive that as the heir of your father's estate. You can legally possess it. You can carry it. There's nothing else you need to do. But you said you had a two-part question, I think.
Yeah. So with like the same gun, would I be able to trade it in at a gun shop as well?
Sure.
With no issue.
Absolutely.
Okay.
In fact, in terms of the difference between just like selling a gun, selling it to somebody you know or an acquaintance, whatnot, I always prefer rather to trade them in. Now, the downside is you don't get as much value for them. It's just like trading a car in. You're going to get wholesale value versus retail. So you're not going to get the same amount of money, but it's very safe in terms of knowing that your gun now is going to a retailer, and that retailer, before it sells that gun to anyone, is going to have to put that person through a complete background check, which you don't have to do as a private individual. So, no, you can absolutely trade it in. I've done that a number of times. And, again, you're giving up some value, no question, but it's a good way of knowing that your gun's not going to end up in the hands of someone who you wouldn't want to have your gun. Let's go to the phone lines again, and we got Bob or Rob? Bob is called. Bob, welcome to Hammer and Nigel.
Bob.
Hey, nice meeting you or talking to you. Yeah, I have a couple of questions about transferring some of my handguns and rifles and shotguns to family members, because I'm getting kind of long in the tooth and some health issues, and I wanted to know, I have 3 handguns and 2 shotguns and 1 .22 rifle and 1 shotgun that I bought when I was like 18 from a friend, and it's never been registered as far as I know. So I was wondering how I would actually transfer them or sell them to my family members.
Yeah,
people that I know.
It's the same deal, right, guy? You just give them to them.
You just give them to them. Are they in? But there's an important question though, Bob. Are they in state? Are they here in Indiana?
The 3 out of the 6 are. 1 is in Illinois, but he's planning on moving to Indiana.
Okay, there are restrictions on transferring a gun to someone across state lines.
Okay.
There are some exceptions to that, which are kind of cumbersome and complex. But I would, as far as if they're in Indiana and they're not residents of a different state, you could, as Nigel said, you can just give them to them, transfer them, say, here you go, here's the gun, and you're good to go. Nothing else necessary. Now, what I've always done whenever I've transferred a gun, if it's not to a gun shop, like I was talking about just now, with another caller, if I'm transferring a gun to a private individual, which I've only done a handful of times, if that, I'll always document that in the sense of I want a bill of sale that has their name, my name, and the serial number and whatnot all on it, the date, and it doesn't mean I don't trust my family member. I've not sold a gun or transferred a gun to a family member, but whoever it is, I personally want some documentation that as of this date, I am no longer the legal owner of that gun. I've transferred that gun. And that's not to say I distrust any of your family members. It's just to say that if that gun shows up at a crime scene or whatnot, or someone knocks on your door wanting to know when you got rid of that gun, you've got a piece of paper signed by them that says, hey, on this date, I transferred this gun, and everybody acknowledges that. Let's go back to the phone lines and
let's
take a break.
No, take one more.
Okay.
Keep calling 239-9393. Ask the gun guy. We'll take one more call and then we'll take a break and we'll come back with another segment.
That sounds great. Let's go to Dave. Dave, welcome to Hammer and Nigel.
Hey guys, it's a great show so far.
Thanks, brother.
I think your first caller, Jim, stole my thunder. I was going to ask about is that Utah gun permit. I think is legal in 32 states. But if it's worth it, but apparently if you go to 30 right now, why buy it? But anyway, I got a follow-up on this. Your 2A project, are you allowed to talk about this on the show?
Sure, you bet. Yeah, the 2A project. 2A project is a gun rights organization that I founded in 2020. It's based right here in Indiana. If you ask the legislators, who was right out front getting constitutional carry passed in 2022, they'll tell you the 2A project was. And so, yeah, we're a gun rights organization. We'd love to have folks as a member, and you can join at the2aproject.com.
All right. Hey, thanks.
You're welcome. Thank you, Dave. Time for a break, Nigel?
Yeah. Keep calling, though. Ask the gun guy. We'll do a second segment, 317-239-9393. Guy Relford filling in for Hammer, Second Amendment attorney, licensed firearms instructor. If you have a question for him, now is the time to call. Get in line, 239-9393. We'll be back.
Truck drivers, the holiday rush is here. Take advantage by becoming a Schneider driver. By driving for one of America's busiest carriers, you'll stay busy during the holiday season and throughout the new year. Plus, as a Schneider driver, you'll have access to top quality driver support and newer equipment spec'd with the latest safety and comfort features that drivers want. Don't wait. Get a jump on 2026 by exploring jobs in your area today at SchneiderJobs.com. That's SchneiderJobs.com.
At Hendricks, your cancer care is in the details.
You have questions, and our dedicated clinicians and expert oncologists will answer them.
You have hills to climb, and we are going to climb them.
You have dreams, and we're here to help you chase them. You have cancer, and you have all the expertise,
the determination, and the kindness of the entire Hendricks team.
Backed by Mayo Clinic expertise.
It's not just cancer care.
It's Teresa Care. Visit hendricks.org/cancer.
Hey, Mr. C, it's me. Well, I just picked up the ring. I actually went to Helzberg. Thanks for that recommendation. Kate's gonna love that hers is from the same jeweler you got Mrs. C's ring from. They were so helpful throughout the whole process. They even knew your family by name. And the ring looks great. Anyways, I just couldn't wait to let you guys know. Call me back and wish me luck.
Helzberg, designed with care and craft since 1915. Shop in store or at helzberg.com.
Welcome to Tire Discounters. Oh, hiya, Phantom.
Mike, you may be in big trouble with Chip Wood.
Our owner?
Free oil changes along with alignment?
On any 4-tire purchase.
And Goodyear's up to $200 off?
Yeah.
Sorry, Mike, but I'm telling.
But the Wood family is behind all this.
Oh, those rascals.
But don't tell the accountants.
Of course not. And what do they do again?
Buy any set of 4 tires at Tire Discounters and get a free alignment and oil change. Make them Goodyear's and save up to $200 more. See store for details.
Press 1 for balances. Press 2 for deposits. Press 3 to scream into the void.
We get it. These days, it's all phone menus and chatbots. But business banking doesn't have to be that way. Bank with Horizon and discover the power of real AI, advisor intelligence. Real people who answer calls, know your business, and go above and beyond to help you succeed. Get started today at horizonbank.com/business AI.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
As an IT professional, you have the opportunity to guarantee your data security, participate in 100% landfill-free disposal, and have peace of mind with R2 V3 certifications. Technology Recyclers provides guaranteed complete data destruction, 100% landfill-free disposal, and the certification to back it up. Protect your data while saving the planet. Receive a free pickup of your e-waste from Technology Recyclers. Visit tech-recyclers.com. That's tech-recyclers.com.
As a caregiver, managing your loved one's health can at times be overwhelming. This is Tina McIntosh, president of Joy's House and co-host of the Caregiver Crossing radio program. In a moment, I'll share 3 tips to help you manage your loved one's medical care effectively.
Cardon & Associates provides residents with the best senior living options and personalized service. Visit cardon.us to find a community near you.
Tip number 1, keep a list of all medications, dosages, and schedules to ensure your loved one is taking their medication correctly. Second, attend doctor's appointments with your loved one when you're able. And finally, stay organized by keeping forms, notes, and other important documents in one secure place. More tips like this are available anytime at caregivercrossingradio.org. With new weekly content created by Joy's House and distributed in partnership with Network Indiana, we're an on-air and online support group for Hoosier family caregivers. Hear conversations with experts, access a library of online education, and more at caregivercrossingradio.org.
Hi, this is Richard Stevenson. Need heating service in Johnson, Morgan, or Hendricks County? Give us a call, 317-557-8532.
Stevenson Heating and Cooling is your independent American Standard air dealer.
Replace old floors before the holidays with Drexel Interiors and get a free pad with qualifying purchase of new carpeting or luxury vinyl through November 15. Go to DrexelIN.com for details.
Want to be part of the conversation without waiting on hold?
We're sorry. All of our representatives are still assisting other customers.
Join the Text Club. Direct access to your favorite WIBC show. Text WIBC to 317-239-9393.
Matt Bear, what's going on?
All righty. Just got this. It's 16th at Tibbs. That's a serious crash. 2 cars involved. No entrapment, but a place to be careful or completely avoid if you can. Again, it's a west side crash. 16th at Tibbs. South side crash. Emerson Avenue at Stop 11 Road. Downtown southbound 6570 crash. Cleanup continues at Washington Street. All lanes have reopened. We push to the right shoulder with traffic still stopped back to the north split. Inbound 65 slow after 21st to Meridian. Eastbound 75-minute delay Harding into the south split. Inbound 69 slow at 96 and a crash on the west side 34th at Allison Avenue. Traffic sponsored by Drexel Interiors. Replace old floors before the holidays with Drexel Interiors and get a free pad with a qualifying purchase of new carpeting or luxury vinyl through November 15th. Go to DrexelIN.com for details. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Yeah, 63 at the American Heating Weather Center, 93 WIBC, the American Standard Heating Weather Center. I'm Nigel, the gun guy, Guy Relford, filling in for Hammer. Let's continue the Ask the Gun Guy segment.
You bet. Let's go right back to the phone lines, and Bill has called.
Billy.
Bill, welcome to Hammer and Nigel.
Hey, thanks, guys. Great show today, guys. Thanks for taking my call.
Thanks so much.
I'm embarrassed to say, Guy, I don't know the answer to this. The revolvers that I own, it's just like any other revolver. You pull the trigger, gun goes bang. It doesn't matter if it's single or double action. My question is, I have a friend who bought his daughter a revolver. I don't know the manufacturer. I've never heard of them, which doesn't really mean anything. But my question to you is this. He's telling me there's a safety mechanism on the revolver. I don't know if you've heard of this. This is new to me. My question to you is, can he legally, without having to play the tax stamp game or classify the pistol now as an AOW, can he go to a gunsmith and have that safety mechanism removed legally so she can operate the gun without having to screw with that?
Sure, absolutely. That's just a legal modification of the gun. You're not turning it into a machine gun. You're not turning it into a short-barreled rifle, short-barreled shotgun. And,
right.
And no, AOW does not apply to handguns. No, they can. They
Dumb
can
question here, though. Why would you want to remove a safety mechanism from a gun?
He's explaining it to me. Sorry, guys. He's explaining to me she doesn't. He took her to the local gun range, had her try a whole bunch of pistols. She's not comfortable with a rack in it, Nigel, with chambering a semi-auto pistol. So he thought, a revolver's the way to go because you just pull the trigger, gun goes bang. So he got her this manufacturer, this certain brand, which I've never heard of. It's not a Ruger. It's nothing I'm familiar with. And she struggles with it. When he's taken her back to the range, apparently, gotcha. Nigel, there's a way you have to hold this gun to squeeze the trigger, and he doesn't feel comfortable her being able to defend herself, God forbid, if she needed to.
Yeah, and the short answer, Nige, to your question is that before you can use the gun to defend yourself, you have to remember to disengage the safety. And there are, and this happens in every course I've ever seen or taught, where somebody's using a revolver, or let me back up, where somebody's using a gun with a safety. It's usually semi-automatic because it's rare the revolver has a safety on it. But when somebody has a safety on their gun, they're especially under time pressure, you've got a target rushing at you, you've got to draw and fire within a certain amount of time, or you're in competition to draw and fire faster than somebody else. Somebody always forgets to flick the safety. Gotcha. And you're sitting there pulling the trigger, nothing's happening, and and theoretically in the real world, the bad guy's killing you at this time. So like a lot of police carry Glocks, right? Yeah. Or a lot of cops before the problems with them, like SIGs, like SIG 320. There's no safety on those guns because there's no external safety, which means you have to flick a lever before the gun will operate, and that's because cops don't want to have to remember to disengage the safety before they pull the trigger and it goes boom.
60 seconds left. Sorry, that was my fault. I was kind of curious about that, though.
No, it's an interesting question. I'm glad we had time for it. Colton, you're on the clock, brother. You got a quick question? I'll get you an answer.
Yeah, quick question for you, Guy. Could you just quickly explain some of the pros and cons to going through registering an SBR for purchase and going through the AR pistol route?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, to have a pistol, you have to have a brace on it. And listen, I'm just not a fan of braces. Braces, they're not real stocks. They typically aren't adjustable. They don't function as stocks. I'd rather have a real stock on my damn gun. That's why I'm going to SBR my guns. That is, make them a short-barreled rifle. And the big plus, starting January 1st, is now the stamp to get your registration on an SBR is free as of January 1. That was a provision in Trump's great big beautiful bill. So I don't own an AR pistol because I don't like braces. I like real stocks, and that's exactly the answer to your question from my perspective, brother.
Coming up after 5 o'clock, Donald Trump running for a third term. This is getting some traction, and we'll kind of break it down and tell you why it probably won't happen next.
You've got your whole life ahead of you, so choose a Medicare plan you can count on. And that's what you get with a Medicare Advantage plan from United Healthcare. With more than 45 years' experience serving its members, United Healthcare has plans with low monthly premiums that fit your life today and as your needs change tomorrow. The Medicare annual enrollment period ends December 7th, so go to uhc.com/Medicare today. United Healthcare Medicare plans. It's Medicare coverage Indiana can count on.
Look, switching point of sale systems is a total nightmare, right? But here's the thing. Shopify POS makes switching easier. A Shopify POS expert, a real human being, helps with setup and data migration. No need to be your own tech support, because with Shopify POS, you get support for free. You'll also get a free card reader and 25% off POS subscription fees. Switching your POS is easier with Shopify. Eligibility requirements apply. To learn more, visit shopify.com/switch now. That's shopify.com/switch now.
Stuck in a job that just isn't getting it done? Maybe it's time to go for IT. Whether you're just starting out, switching careers, or a military veteran ready for change, My Computer Career can help you launch a rewarding career in IT in months. No prior experience needed. Why spend years getting a traditional degree when your future in IT can start right now? Take the free career evaluation at mycomputercareer.edu today. Your most powerful upgrade? Your career. Go for it. Go for IT. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
Are you ready to put joint pain behind you and get to a place where persistent pain doesn't control your life? The dedicated orthopedic experts at Community Health Network are here to turn those goals into a reality. With personalized treatment options that include robotic-assisted surgery, we'll help you feel your best so you can get back to enjoying your hobbies again. Learn more about your care options at ecommunity.com/ortho. Community Health Network. Exceptional care, simply delivered.
Garage door problems? Call today for service today. Garage Doors of Indianapolis services all makes of garage doors 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Call today for service today. 875-4577. Call today for service today. Get it fixed right now. Call Garage Doors of Indianapolis at 875-4577 or visit doorstoday.com.
In the morning, call 875-4577.
Service today?
Today.
Let's go!
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
It all comes down to this, folks.
Yep, the entire season is on the line.
But my throat has officially thrown in the towel. Sounds like you need Vicks VapoCool drops. They're max strength and vaporize sore throat pain.
Whoa! These VapoCool drops hit fast.
Speaking of fast, did you just see that play?
Yeah, he vaporized that ball.
That pun should have come with a penalty.
Vaporize sore throat pain with Vicks VapoCool drops. Use as directed.
There's one name for every home system: Chapman. Heating, air conditioning, plumbing, drains, electrical, and now proudly serving Bloomington. Remember the man for all seasons, and now more reasons. Chapman. ChapmanHeating.com.
At Advent, we help sleep apnea sufferers avoid the CPAP machine by getting your nose and throat working with our unique Advent approach that you won't find elsewhere.
Coming up in 2 minutes from the Technology and Recycler Studios, you'll hear about Indiana's governor who called a special session on redistricting and why redistricting is not the only thing that will be addressed in Indiana's upcoming special session. Those stories are coming up next after Fox News. You're listening to 93 WIBC. WIBC HD1 Indianapolis, it's 5 o'clock.
A courtroom change for an accused killer. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. The man charged in the death of conservative activist Charlie Kirk will be allowed to wear civilian clothes to court after the defense argued dressing like an inmate could affect presumption of innocence because of jury pool exposure to so much pretrial publicity. Utah 4th District Judge Tony Graff granting a defense motion on the clothes, but also denying a motion that Tyler Robinson not have to appear in shackles.
The safety of Mr. Robinson, the attorneys, court staff, and the public must remain the court's highest priority. The emotional nature of these proceedings also raise the risk of disruption.
The judge did order media restrictions on showing the restraints. Food assistance benefits are set to end this Saturday as a government shutdown continues.
Well, you're talking about 42 million Americans who will no longer have access. The lines at the food banks are already lined up. Talked to a Nevada food bank today. They are already out of their supply for the month. I mean, it is really, really, really important that we get this government open.
Agriculture Secretary Brooke Rollins also telling Fox Senate Democrats can reopen government by supporting a short-term spending bill. Democrats in Congress argue health care issues should be addressed as part of that, not after it, especially Obamacare tax credits expiring this year. A slow-moving disaster is heading for Jamaica as Hurricane Melissa intensifies.
When we look at what this season has featured in this part of the Atlantic Basin, it's had nothing but time to warm all season. So that's one of the reasons why we saw this extreme rapid intensification over the weekend, where it went from a 70-mile tropical storm, 70-mile-an-hour tropical storm, to a Category 4 hurricane.
Fox Weather Stephen Morgan. Melissa has since grown to a Category 5 storm ahead of a possible Jamaica landfall tomorrow. America is listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
He gave more insight as to why he's chosen to do that. Skies are mostly cloudy, 62 degrees in the Circle City, and tonight's low is 47. I'm Jake McDaniel. Here's what's trending at 5:02. This was after Indiana Governor Mike Braun called a special session on redistricting. He told Tony Katz today he's sick and tired of seeing Democrat-run states like California and Illinois gerrymander to try and gain an upper hand.
They don't want the playing field even. I think once this got to where it goes public, you'll have people getting off the fence, and you're going to see the votes will be there.
Braun says Democrats have not played by the rules for a long time, and he believes Republicans are just trying to even the playing field. And when the special redistricting was announced, Indiana Republican Representative Andrew Ireland said he was not surprised and he finds it necessary.
If Indiana doesn't do this, we are just marginalizing our own voters. So I think it's really important on that reason alone, is again trying to level the national playing field. If you don't fight fire with fire, you're just going to lose.
He tells WIBC's Kendall and Casey that other bills will likely get reviewed in the upcoming session, which should start November 3rd. You might want to bring anything you have outdoors inside because the strongest winds in Indiana are expected on Wednesday and again Thursday.
If you've got any kind of decorations for the holidays, just make sure you have them secured, as 25 to 30 mile per hour winds can definitely blow those around, and just bundle up for Halloween.
Aaron Updike with the National Weather Service says your best chance of rain is Tuesday through Wednesday. And in Indiana, approximately 500 young people turn 18 in foster care every year. And one nonprofit is helping those in the system transition a bit easier.
An Indiana nonprofit that has been a crucial support system for young adults transitioning out of foster care is taking its mission nationally. Foster Success is officially expanding to states like Ohio, Arizona, and Maryland, becoming a national organization. President and CEO Maggie Stevens says that being able to have a wider reach will only help the organization locally.
Not only can we take our learning from here in Indiana over the past decade plus, but we can learn from these other states and bring that back to strengthen our work in Indiana.
Speaking of Wish TV, Stevens said that Foster Success has helped more than 1,800 young people in the past year. Janet Cruz, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Time 5:04. Your traffic and weather next.
By now, you've heard about IndianaUnclaimed.gov. It's a way to claim your unclaimed property from the Indiana Attorney General's Unclaimed Property Division. It's not a scam. It's not houses, boats, cars, or storage facilities. It isn't free money. So what exactly is it? It's your money. It belongs to you, and it's waiting for you to claim it. It's money from unclaimed wages or commissions, forgotten bank accounts, underlying shares, refunds, insurance proceeds, stock dividends, safe deposit box contents, overpayments, certificates of deposit, money orders, and more. The Indiana Attorney General's Unclaimed Property Division safeguards those funds while trying to locate and return those funds to the owner or heir. It's your money, you deserve it, and the Attorney General's office wants to make sure you get it. The Attorney General's Unclaimed Property Division has over $800 million just waiting to be claimed. Text Hammer and Nigel to 46220. That's Hammer and Nigel to 46220. Or visit IndianaUnclaimed.gov to claim yours today.
You've got WIBC traffic at 5:05 with Matt Bear.
Downtown crash. Southbound 6570 at Washington Street, blocking the right lane, stopping traffic back to the north split. Inbound 65 slow west to Meridian. Eastbound 70 slows from Harding Street to the south split. That's a 4-minute delay. Northbound 69 on the northeast side slows from 465 up to 96. And that east side version of northbound 465 tied after 70 up to I-69. Eastbound 465 on the north side, slow in pockets from Michigan Road over to 31 Meridian. Crash, 2 cars with injury on the west side, 16th at Tibbs. Crash south side, Emerson Avenue at Stomp 11 Road. Traffic sponsored by Staples. Have you heard? The Staples Easy button is back with even more easy. Press it for custom print shipping services, even passport photos. Staples, that was easy. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And now here's the forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
Mostly cloudy for a Monday night with low temperatures in the mid-40s. Tuesday, we will stay with a mostly cloudy trend with breezy winds and highs in the upper 50s to low 60s before rain returns by early Wednesday morning. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Stephen Deanna for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Jake McDaniel on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos?
So let's rock it!
Yeah, my name is Nigel. Jason Hammer is out. The gun guy, Guy Relford, filling in. Governor Mike Braun did it. He pulled the trigger, calling a special session November 3rd. And we're going to talk about redistricting, getting those votes to redraw some congressional lines here in the state and possibly maybe pick up a seat or two in the House, right?
Yeah, there are 2 to be picked up if they go that way.
There's also, look, we're going to talk about this all week. This is going to be a big deal. But there's also something else that's kind of attached to this special session.
Yeah, that nobody's talking about.
We haven't mentioned it yet, is the federal tax compliance issue. And Guy, maybe you just got a text message from a former rep that could shed some light on this and maybe give people more of an idea of what this is about.
Yeah, a good friend of mine served in the legislature for a long, long time, very, very productively. Texted me after he heard our discussion about why Braun called this special session. And I think he raised a very, very good point, and that is that when Governor Braun announced he was calling the special session, he mentioned 2 different issues he wants the General Assembly to address. Just one is redistricting. The other one is the fact that, and listen, I'm not a tax guy. I have no authority whatsoever on the tax code, but apparently there are some recent changes to the federal tax code that require Indiana to realign its state tax code to be consistent with, parallel to the new as amended federal tax code. So that needs to be done, and that was reason in and of itself to call the special session. Here, Governor Braun has cover because he can call the special session and say, in order to alleviate some of that political pressure that he's getting from Washington and President Trump specifically, Vice President Vance, now 2 trips to Indianapolis, he can say, hey, I called the special session to address the redistricting. When he really needed to call it anyway, now he just gets to lump this in, and he gets political cover. I thought that was just such a wise point that I wasn't smart enough to come up with on my own, and I wanted to mention it because I think that's a very good theory.
So do you think this is, but I mean, quote from Braun, I'm also asking the legislature to conform Indiana's tax code with the new federal tax provisions to ensure stability and certainty for taxpayers and tax preparers for the 2026 filings. So what your contact is saying, the former representative is saying, is that this is equally, I feel like they're just kind of tacking that on. Is that what you're saying? They're tacking this tax
that
thing
could easily
on?
be the appearance, right? Because he's saying, all right, I'm going to do what the big hitters in Washington want me to do, and what some elements of Indiana Republicans want me to do, which is to call a special session to do redistricting. But he really needs to call a special session anyway. So this way he can have his cake and eat it too, call it for a reason that he needed, separate and apart from redistricting, and get the political heat off of him by saying he wants the legislature, whether they have the votes or not, to address redistricting. And by the way, while still whipping votes to get enough votes to accomplish the redistricting.
Yeah,
so he can do both and claim credit for both.
At this point, because we had Governor Braun in here last week, and he seemed to be very confident that I got the feeling that he was going to call the special session and that they were going to be able to have enough votes to redistrict. That's my feeling. Do you think I couldn't imagine him calling a special session, spending hundreds of thousands of dollars of taxpayers' money, and then coming up short? That really makes you look like a weak leader.
It does make you look weak. At the same time, it allows you to deflect and say, I wanted him to do the right thing. And this is frankly exactly what he did on property taxes.
I know.
He said, I wanted to stand firm. I wanted much more significant reductions to property taxes. The people in the legislature wouldn't agree with me. I did my best. And he has the exact same out if he chooses to go that direction if they don't do what he wants them to do on property taxes. And by the way, I agree with you because I heard your interview with Governor Braun right here in this studio. Yeah. At the same time, I've also heard what Rod Braze had to say, which is that he doesn't think the votes are there in the Indiana Senate.
So if he doesn't think the votes are there, that's the whole thing here. And I can't imagine that Governor Braun is going to risk that political capital to say, yeah, we're going to call a special session, and then all of us on the redistricting, it gets voted down. I did what I could, but that makes Braun, like Donald Trump's going to be like, what kind of leader are you?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
That's fair.
You do. That's a big risk, I guess, is what I'm saying.
Right.
I mean, if you're not going to call a special session on property taxes, which, like you pointed out earlier, the legislature already voted on.
Yeah, see, we don't have a vote yet on redistricting, so he can make these people responsible. And you know what?
So is Braun beholden to Trump or the citizens of Indiana? Lots of Hoosiers, I think, would probably say Braun. This is just off the top of my head. I'm just thinking. I'm saying lots of Hoosiers that voted for Trump saying Braun should do whatever Trump wants.
Oh no,
I mean, you don't think that? You don't?
Well, no. A lot of people are saying that.
Yes.
I'm just giving you Guy Relford's opinion on
Right.
this. Now, just me personally, no. His number one priority ought to be the citizens of the state of Indiana,
Of course.
and that's why
Of
I
course.
still am disappointed he didn't actually go ahead and veto the property tax bill, for instance, and draw a line in the sand and say, this is not what I wanted, not what I campaigned for. You do this the way I wanted you to do it, the original Senate Bill 1, or don't do it at all. And even if they still went back against him, he at least drew a line in the sand. I think here he ought to draw a line in the sand and make it clear that he wants to do what the constituents right here in Indiana elected him to do, which is lead us the way he campaigned on. And so, no, I think his number one priority ought to be what his constituents want him to do right here. At the same time, the President of the United States and Republican Party nationally starts leaning on you and can start talking about, well, that's a nice governorship you got there. It'd be a shame if somebody primaried it here next election. I mean, there are a lot of ways they can lean on him that I'm sure are very uncomfortable.
If the goal, again, I said it earlier, if the goal is domination by the Republicans,
right?
Then redistricting is the right call. If you're hardcore and you want to win and you don't want the Democrats to ever have a chance ever again to be in the mix, then it's the right call. But if you think honest representation is what's right, then it does seem a little unethical. It's a choice you have to make, even though unethical doesn't mean that they totally have the right to do this.
No,
it's such a conundrum. It's interesting.
And listen, I mean, my natural reaction to the issue is to want to do the right thing, do what's the most ethical, but then pretty easily somebody calls me naive, which is, well, Guy, the Democrats don't play by those rules.
Exactly.
And all we're doing is counteracting what they're doing in all these states. I mean, have you seen the districts in Illinois and California and New Jersey and Connecticut and Maryland and New York? I mean, they're ridiculous. They're laughable. So they're saying all we're doing is playing by the same rules as the Democrats. So in a perfect world, I'm saying, hey, let's do the right thing. Let's be ethical. Let's give everybody an equal voice, and that's the way our government is designed to function. But there's a little whisper behind my ear that tells me I'm being stupid and naive because that's not the rules those aren't the rules that the Democrats follow.
All right, Matt Baer, my man. We're going to talk about Donald Trump here in just a second. Some chatter about a third term. Boy, it's got people's heads spinning all the way back to the No Kings rally a week or two ago. And I've got some audio for you here. We're going to play at about 5:20. Right now, Matt Baer's got to look at traffic.
All right, fellas, look at the southbound 6570 crash clear. Stop and go traffic from the north split down to the now south split on southbound 6570. Then northbound 65 stop and go from Raymond Street into the south split because of construction. Crash 16th at Tibbs, 2 cars. Somebody's hurt. Avoid if you can. East side northbound 465 slow from 70 up to 69. That is a 12-minute delay. North side eastbound 465 stop and go from Michigan Road over 231 Meridian. Crash west side 34th at Allison Avenue. Traffic sponsored by Staples. Have you heard the Staples Easy button is back with even more easy? Press it for custom prints, shipping services, even passport photos. Staples, that was easy. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
63 at the American Standard Heating Weather Center on 93 WIBC.
Cardiac issues are the #1 cause of death every year. If you'd like to learn about a personalized heart program that offers more than just drugs or surgery, join us for our free Holistic Integration Seminar, Holistic Heart, a holistic approach to heart health, Wednesday, November 5th at 6:30 p.m. at Cohatch in Carmel. You'll hear from Dr. Robert Prather, host of the Voice of Health Radio. Those who attend will receive our autonomic nervous system test that measures your heart function, nervous system, and circulatory system for just $49, normally a $195 value.
What's great about the ANS test, we can see things, if you're getting evaluated even by your top cardiologist, you're not getting that information.
The Holistic Integration Free Seminar, Holistic Heart, featuring Dr. Robert Prather, Wednesday, November 5th at 6:30 p.m. at Cohatch in Carmel. Learn how to protect your heart and reserve your seat by calling 317-848-8048 or online at thevoiceofhealthradio.com.
Hi, I'm Dustin, your friend and jeweler at Shane Company. I know finding a dream engagement ring can be overwhelming, but don't worry, we got you. As director of diamond sourcing, it's my job to make sure every single diamond at Shane Company is truly the best of the best. Our team travels the world to see diamonds up close, in person. We handpick each one for its unique fire, brilliance, and scintillation. Diamond buying is an art. Of course, we look at cut, color, clarity, and carat, known as the 4 C's, but that's not all. We also look at how each diamond looks on a hand, where it will be worn, how it makes you feel, and if it's worthy of a Shane Company customer. That type of expertise only comes from working for a company that's been a family business since 1929. We also think about your budget. We only pick the best in each grade in all shapes and sizes. Your diamond is guaranteed to be the most beautiful because a friend wants you to pick from only the best. Drop by your store or shaneco.com and see for yourself. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Why do so many basement companies want half the money up front? Could it be because it's easier to get than earning all your trust? At the Michaelis Corporation, they don't ask for a deposit until the job is done and you're completely satisfied. They even start with a free inspection to ensure you know exactly what your home needs without the guesswork. With over 35 years' experience, they've proven that trust is built on results, not deposits. Michaelis, building trust beneath your feet. Visit michaeliscorp.com.
At Advent, we help sleep apnea sufferers avoid the CPAP machine by getting your nose and throat working with our unique Advent approach that you won't find elsewhere.
JTV, Jewelry Television. With 80,000 jewelry looks, we're kind of a big deal. Even bigger with new lines of designer handbags, fragrances, and more. And biggest of all, because you could win a 7-night stay in Bali, spending money, and thousands worth of JTV jewelry, making you kind of a big deal. Enter by December 7th at jtv.com/sweepstakes. No purchase necessary. Then watch JTV on TV or shop jtv.com for big holiday deals.
Inside Indiana Business Radio, the news you need to get ahead. Indiana's business news leader, weekdays at 6:32 a.m. and 5:56 p.m. on WIBC.
Drexel Interiors has teamed up with Mohawk for Breast Cancer Awareness Month. A portion of October's Mohawk sales will be donated to the Susan G. Komen Foundation. Visit either showroom or drexelin.com today.
This hour powered by Stevenson Heating and Cooling, your American Standard Air dealer, serving Johnson and Morgan counties.
Listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Kevin Bowen from 107.5 The Fan, their morning show, our sports talk station here in the building to talk about the Colts, their big win. We'll talk IU. We'll talk the injury-ridden Pacers a little bit after 5:30. My name is Nigel. That's Guy Relford filling in for Hammer. One of the things that I thought was funny, and it always comes up when talking about Donald Trump and, being an authoritarian, being a dictator, is that he's got merch, the Donald Trump 2028. He's going to run for a third term.
Yeah, I love this.
And look, he was asked about this today, and there's several ways that people are theorizing that he's going to kind of circumvent the Constitution. Let me just play this audio. Here's Trump ruling out running for the vice presidency in 2028, which is an approach, again, that some of his supporters have floated to allow him to serve an additional term in office.
Theory on how you might try to serve a third term, that you could run as the vice president. Yeah, I'd be allowed to do that. Is it the White House or the White House counsel to your legal position? No, you'd be allowed to do that, but I wouldn't want. I wouldn't do it. I think it's too cute. Yeah, I would rule that out because it's too cute. I think the people wouldn't like that. It's too cute. It's not. It wouldn't be right.
And we also has on the record as saying, I would love to do it though. I would love to run for a third term, not as vice president, as he was saying. That's too cute. Yeah, I'm not going to do that. He can't do it anyway. The 12th Amendment says anyone constitutionally ineligible to be president is also ineligible to be vice president.
There you go.
So that's under the 20th Amendment and the 12th Amendment, there's people trying to circumvent that. Here is I'm going to play you some audio here of Trump's former advisor, Steve Bannon, seems to think that Trump has 2028 in the bag. And this is him on something called the Economist podcast a few days ago.
And does he need a third term in order to see that job through?
Well, he's going to get a third term. So Trump 28, Trump is going to be president in 28, and people just ought to get accommodated with that.
So what about the 22nd Amendment?
There's many different alternatives. At the appropriate time, we'll lay out what the plan is, but there's a plan, and President Trump will be the president in 28. We had longer odds in 16 and longer odds in 24 than we got in 28. And President Trump will be the president of the United States, and the country needs him to be president of the United States. We have to finish what we started.
I don't know, Guy. Is this anything Steve Bannon there running his mouth? I just don't think that the Constitution works like that. You would have to amend the Constitution first. There are amendments in place to keep everything that he was talking about, including, running on a VP ticket and then having the person resign and, having the president resign and having Donald Trump as vice president take over as president. There's amendments in place that don't allow for that.
Listen, anything I want to say about Steve Bannon, he's never struck me as a constitutional scholar. And I think what you see, the Trump 2028 merge and some of that stuff, people need to understand that Donald Trump is one of the all-time great trolls in the history of social media. And he loves to put stuff out there that just gets people riled up.
He sure as hell does.
And has them running around in circles, waving their hands in the air. And I just think it's hilarious when he does this. The Constitution says what it says, and President Trump is plenty smart enough to know that any efforts along those lines would not be successful legally. And frankly, how do the American people really feel about that? Because whoever would run as president, for instance, with him as vice president, still has to win the election. And how many people?
That's exactly. You have to amend the Constitution. You have to draft the amendment. You propose it, 2/3 vote in both the House and Senate, ratify it, and then survive litigation, and then you have to run.
And by the way, it has to be ratified in 39 states. And do you think that happens overnight? I mean, look at the last few constitutional amendments and how long they took to even get done. You're assuming you can pass the resolution in by a 2/3 majority of Congress or a 2/3 vote in a constitutional convention, and then still get it ratified by 3/4 of the states. That's 39. I mean, that's not going to happen. Everybody knows it's not going to happen. And I think Bannon's not smart enough to figure that out, or maybe he's just trolling too. But I think President Trump is just having fun with it, to be honest with you.
I do too. And maybe he's talking about Don Jr. in 2028. Trump.
There you go. Trump 2028.
Don Jr.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or one of the daughters.
I just think when that's the argument, we were kind of mocking the No Kings protest, and it's so funny. There was a couple Saturdays ago in the State House. It's not just Trump. It's like, we hate billionaires. We hate the people in control. Well, I got bad news for the people at those No Kings protests. Those are highly organized, nationwide protests
by billionaires,
funded by billionaires.
That's such a good point, Nige. It is so true. If George Soros is writing you a check to go campaign and protest that you hate billionaires, how incredibly hilarious is that? I mean, ironic certainly, but I'm sorry, that's just hilarious.
And then of course we get the tweets, we get on social media. Oh well, Donald Trump has merchandise. He's openly said he would like to run for a third term. What president do you think Obama wouldn't have wanted to run for a third term?
Yeah, exactly.
He didn't go out and openly say it, I don't think, like Donald Trump does. But like you said, Trump could be the ultimate troll to the people that hate him the most.
Oh, well, again, and don't ever, and you and I know agree on this completely, but don't ever discount the value that Trump puts in just trolling people. Just totally making people spin. I think when they commemorate, when they finally get done with the ballroom, right, that's causing all this controversy, which I also think is hilarious.
That's a whole, yeah, I'm so glad you brought that up. The ballroom that he's paying for
he's paying
with
for
his own money.
Yeah, but when they commemorate that, I think it would be completely like Trump to come out with a big plaque that says, "Yes, this is His Royal Majesty Donald Trump Ballroom." You know, just totally to get people spinning on this whole no king thing.
Is that all they have? Like when they were, there was that 24-hour news cycle, maybe 48, where they were, Morning Joe was saying, "Oh my dear Lord, I can't believe, look at because the White House was under construction." Right, sure. And so it looked,
this East Wing,
pretty bad. Was it the East Wing? Okay.
Yeah, it's just built over a bunker that was built in the 40s. I mean, it's not like it's been there since, they rebuilt it after the War of 1812. They built the East Wing to hide a bunker that they built in the 40s during World War II.
It's like, is that what they have
Yes.
to complain about after Donald Trump just basically all but solved the Hamas-Israeli conflict and got the hostages back? Well, we really can't talk about that anymore, but man, Donald Trump spending his own money to construct a ballroom on the White House. That's all they have.
Exactly. Did you see what Representative Swalwell said today?
Oh, yeah.
This is hilarious.
Yeah,
He said it should be a precondition of any Democrat running for president in 2028 that they commit to tear down Trump's ballroom. Tear it down. Okay, it was paid for with no government funds, all private funds, and and by the way, they have a bunch of these state dinners where they're bringing in emperors and kings and prime ministers and presidents, and they have them in tents.
Yeah, on the White House lawn.
Yeah,
it's dumb.
Like your brother-in-law's wedding, you with a big white tent. And this is at the White House. Yeah. And so we're building a ballroom. Swalwell says, in order to run for president in 2028, you have to commit to tear it down, bring in bulldozers, and knock it down. These people, you talk about Trump derangement syndrome?
Oh, he's got it the worst.
Oh, that's classic.
Do you want to do Moonshine Monday here in just a little while?
I insist. It's Monday, and we have moonshine.
Yeah, we got moonshine. But first, we'll get Kevin Bowen to talk Colts, IU, Pacers. That's next after the news.
Hell yeah.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
He talked more about it. Cloudy skies, 62 degrees in downtown Indy, 61. How about that? Lows tonight in the mid to upper 40s. I'm Jake McDaniel. Here's what's trending at 5:30. Indiana Governor Mike Braun discussed his decision to call a special session on redistricting Monday afternoon. He was a guest Monday on Tony Katz Today.
Blue states have already gerrymandered as much as they possibly can to the benefit of their own party.
He says Democrats don't want an even playing field, so he's hearing from fellow Republicans who say this is their way of standing up and fighting back with the midterms coming up next year. The government shutdown has now dragged on for 27 days, and the Senate is not scheduled to vote on a fix. This is a huge problem because funding for food assistance for about 42 million people is set to run out this coming Saturday. Plus, the shutdown staffing issues have impacted air travel, causing over 3,800 flight delays today alone. And Hurricane Melissa is bearing down on Jamaica and is expected to hit the island as an intense Category 5 hurricane early tomorrow. Forecasters say it is set to unleash massive downpours and winds exceeding 160 miles per hour. A man riding a bicycle was hit and killed this morning outside the entrance to Indiana Bible College in Indianapolis. Here's Ryan Hedrick.
The crash happened before sunrise, and IMPD Sergeant Amanda Hipschman says anyone riding a bike should stay alert and aware of their surroundings.
Your bicycle has to have a light on it. Know the rules rules of the road? Should you be biking with traffic, against traffic?
The person who was driving the car who hit the person on the bicycle stayed to talk to police. Ryan Hedrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
And the 8-0 Indiana Hoosier football team gets ready to face the 4-3 Maryland Terrapins on the road this Saturday. Hoosier head football coach Kurt Signetti.
Almost every year since I've been a head coach but one, been in the top 10 in the country in turnover ratio. And then it's a battle of explosive plays. Runs plus 12, passes plus 15.
Indiana scoring 45 points per game offensively, while only allowing 11 points per game to the opposition. With traffic at 5:32, here's Matt Bear.
All right, northeast side, stall on northbound 465 at East 71st. Has us loaded up past Penn Pike. A delay right now, 13 minutes. Southbound 465 stopped from 72 Brookville Road, and that's a 16-minute delay. Downtown southbound 6570 crash clear at Washington, jammed up from the north split down to the south split in a delay of 5 minutes. Northbound 65 south side slow after South Keystone Avenue into the south split because of construction. And the northwest side, northbound 465 slow roll off 86th Street up to 865. Crash 16th and Tibbs. That's a two-car crash with injury. Traffic sponsored by Drexel Interiors. Drexel Interiors has teamed up with Mohawk for Breast Cancer Awareness Month. A portion of October's Mohawk sales will be donated to the Susan G. Komen Foundation. Visit either showroom or DrexelIN.com today. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And now the forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
We are tracking a mostly cloudy and dry Monday night. Low temperatures will be down to the mid-40s. Tuesday, expect more mostly cloudy skies and breezy winds as high temperatures get into the upper 50s to lower 60s. And then this leads way to a cooler and even more breezy Wednesday with the return of rain showers. Rain will be confined to along and south of Interstate 70 through the day. High temperatures will be in the low 50s Wednesday afternoon. I'm with TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Stephen Deanna for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Jake McDaniel on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
The Hammer and Nigel Show. My name is Nigel. Guy Relford filling in for Hammer the Colts. What a gorgeous day for a Colts beatdown of the Tennessee Titans, division rivals. 38-14, the final score. We'll go straight to the hotline and bring on Kevin Bowen from the morning show on 107.5 The Fan. I'm just curious, and then we'll get to the game. Like, do you remember where you were, what you were doing when you heard Daniel Jones was coming to be the Colts quarterback? And do you remember your thought process and what you were thinking? And can you compare and contrast that to what you're thinking now?
Great question, Nige. I don't necessarily recall, where I maybe was, but, I figured, and wrongly, it was just the same old,
yes.
A different, whatever. Jacoby Brissett, Carson Wentz, Gardner Minshew, Matt Ryan, just one of these others. And then, it kind of hit me probably midway through the offseason. I was like, oh, wait, this is real in the sense of, he's going to, I think, start. It kind of hit me a little bit there, oh, no, this is, going to happen. But to picture, I'd be debating Jonathan Taylor or Daniel for NFL MVP on our radio show? No. It's an absolute Chris thought.
Okay, your takeaways from the game. I believe the Colts put on what they call a clinic. Is that the term? Could I use a clinic?
Yeah,
Is that the term for the Tennessee Titans?
Yeah, I think that's an accurate way to put it. I mean, it's surgical what they've done, and I honestly feel like I've done the same Monday show several times this season, Nige, and done it in a uber positive light. We're not used to NFL teams blowing other teams out to the level that the Colts have. It's very rare to have to plan fourth quarters around emptying your bench in the NFL, and yet the Colts have done that. I know I've said this to you guys here on these Mondays, but just to reiterate it, the Colts did not have a single 20-point win last year, the year before, or the year before that.
Wow.
And this year they already have 4 of them. And we're not even at the midway point of the season. So, that to me, just from a context standpoint, maybe that's kind of the best way to sum it up. They had 8 wins last year. All 8 were by 1 score.
Yeah.
This year,
wow,
got 4 by 20 points and another one by 14.
And so you were debating on your show whether it's going to be Daniel Jones or Jonathan Taylor for MVP. I mean, I know after that 80-yard touchdown run by Jonathan Taylor, that was the play where everybody was chanting MVP, right?
Yeah, and honestly, I think part of this stems from, okay, what is MVP? Is it the
Sure.
acronym, most valuable player, or is it the best player in the NFL? To me, it should be the best player in the NFL, because when we get into the definition of the actual acronym spelling it out, well, quarterback is the most weighed position in the entire sports landscape. There's no position like quarterback, so of course he's the most valuable. I mean, if I told you the Colts were going to go start their backup running back or the backup quarterback tomorrow, you'd vote for them starting their backup running back. But if you're talking the best player in the NFL, to me, in 2025, it has been Jonathan Taylor. And the fact that he's taken his game, which was already on a Hall of Fame type of path, the fact that he's taken it to another level is just amazing.
I don't know if you had the numbers right there in front of you. I misplaced mine somewhere, but multiple games, 100-yard games, 200-yard games. It just keeps seeming like, and teams don't have an answer for him. And I'm wondering what we're going to see moving forward, how our teams that are left on the schedule are going to contain Jonathan Taylor or Daniel Jones for that matter.
Yeah, good luck. And that's the thing. It's just this balance. They can attack you in multiple ways. It seemingly is a little bit of throw to score in the first half and then run to win in the second half. Taylor's numbers in the second half are astonishing this season. And that's probably the most, I think, just dynamic element to your offense because, the fact that you can be multiple and, again, you can be a bit unpredictable. Your tight end is a huge help. I think in recent years the Colts are kind of tipping their hand.
Yes.
Depending on what tight end was on the field. The fact that you have Tyler Warren out there who can do so many different things, I think is a huge help as well. So I believe the young kids would say the Colts are a wagon right now. I don't really know what that means,
I don't
but
either.
They are a wagon.
I don't know what that means. We're speaking with Kevin Bowen from 107.5 The Fan. So have the Colts passed all the tests they needed to pass? That kind of sounds like a rah, sort of uber fan question. Like we keep on saying, obviously Tennessee's a weak team. They played some other weak teams, but they've had some tests. They've failed some. They failed a test against the Rams. But what do they have coming up now? They got the Steelers next week. The Steelers lost to the Packers last night. What was it, 35-25 or something like that? Is that a quote-unquote test on the road for the Colts?
Yeah, I think going back to your original question, Nigel, of have they passed all the tests? The answer to that, I think, is no. But at the same time, I want to make sure, all the tests that have pretty much been put in front of them, they've, virtually aced all of them, which, again, does not happen in the NFL. Teams do not have the scoring margin that the Colts have. Now, have they played one of the easier schedules in the league so far? I don't know if the data would say that, but my guess is they probably have. At Pittsburgh, yes, that's a little bit of a different challenge. How about at Kansas City in a few weeks after the bye week? How about a trip to Seattle in December? Yep. You still haven't played the second-place team in your division, Jacksonville, either game. You still haven't played the third-place team in your division, Houston, either game. So, yes, I think really today marks a shift in the season, not just because the midway point. I think for the most part, and I say this in quotes, the easier part of your schedule is largely over, and now the more difficult part will start to arrive. I think of their final 9, Nige.
Yeah.
I want to say 6 of them are away from home. So just there is kind of the sheer number. And again, I don't think you're going to be, they were a 14-point favorite yesterday. I mean, Hammer would know this full well. I mean, that is a massive number in the NFL.
Huge
They're
number.
not going to be a 14-point favorite in any game the rest of the season.
Did you hop on Hammer's bet with Jonathan Taylor? 3 touchdowns. Did you hop on that train? Because I did, but I only got it at plus 600 though.
Yeah, I try to be careful. How many times I hop on anything of Jason Hammer's, but to be fair, not only that profitable bet right there, but he also gave us a Benedict Mathurin Pacer first 3-pointer to open up the season last Thursday. We have Hammer on every Thursday at 9:30.
Yeah.
Jason Hammer has made our listeners a lot of money, and My kid's 529 is very grateful.
Right. We're speaking with Kevin Bowen, morning show for 107.5 The Fan, our sister sports talk station. So let's talk about the Pacers. I was listening to you and JMV on the radio yesterday doing the Colts pregame, but your conversation steered towards the Pacers. And when it did, it kind of sounded like both of you wanted to drive your cars into brick walls. All of a sudden, you know what I mean? It sounded like, and I'm not talking about from a on-air performance quality. It just sounded sort of in despair about what the Pacers are going through right now in terms of injuries and the start of their season. Can you break that down for me?
Yes, so they currently have 8 players missing time due to injury, particularly in the backcourt. Like, that's where virtually all of it is, and this is including Tyrese Halliburton here. So the other night, on a Saturday night, and I consider myself, I guess, a follower of the Pacers, they had a lineup in the first quarter where their 2 guards were guys by the name of Ray J. Dennis and Taylon Peter.
Okay.
And, you've got to be a 82 or I guess a 41-night season ticket holder to probably know who those 2 guys are. And Nigel, they're getting in the first quarter of Game 2 of the season.
Ooh, man.
Like, to me,
Oof.
that sounds like a lineup for the Fort Wayne Mad Ants or the Noblesville Boom. And it is shot. That's just the reality of where they're at right now. They are in a dire health situation. Guys injured. Tyrese Halliburton, T.J. McConnell, Benedict Mathurin, Andrew Nembhard, Obi Toppin, Johnny Furphy. The list goes on and on. So, it's just a weird evaluation period of the Pacers right now because you're, complimenting them on their effort, and yet they're 0-3, and an 0-4 start would be, I think, the longest in, 20 or 30-some years. But that's just the reality of how banged up they are right now.
That first game of this regular season, was that where Rick Carlisle was kind of going nuts? Was he?
Yeah.
Did I have that right? And have you talked to him since then?
Yeah, so we had him on just before that Thunder game. So we have him on every Tuesday.
Okay, yeah.
We are scheduled to have him on coming up tomorrow. And this has got to be uber frustrating for him because I know the officiating opening night he wasn't, obviously too pleased with that. And again, that was a point in time where they were a little bit healthier.
Yep.
Since then, Nembhard got hurt in that game. Since then, Benedict Mathurin's gotten hurt. Obi Toppin's gotten hurt. So, right now they are just in scramble mode. I've never seen the Pacers this injured. To think the Pacers have more guys injured than the Colts right now, and the Colts play football, and there's 46 of them that play every game versus 12 NBA players.
What about IU football, number 2? Looking at the rest of their schedule, what do they have? What's your thoughts on finishing out with IU football?
Well, on paper, the schedule's a joke the rest of the way. They got 4 games left in the Big Ten. Those teams have combined to win 1 Big Ten game. So it is a collision course to Lucas Oil Stadium and Ohio State in all likelihood for the Big Ten championship game here in a little over a month. I sound like a broken record. I feel like I've done the same Monday show about the Colts. I feel like I've done the same Monday show about IU football. They just won their second Big Ten game by 50 points this season.
Unbelievable.
We're used to people checking out on IU football at halftime. They go out to tailgate.
Yeah.
Now you check out because the game's not entertaining anymore. They're just beating the brakes off the opponent.
Kevin, I fell asleep during the middle of that game. Once it hit the 30s, I was on my couch, but that's a good thing.
And again, nothing because of anything Indiana did poorly, because they were doing to beat the brakes off their opponent there. So they do go on the road the next 2 weeks at Maryland and at Penn State. Again, those teams have struggled here lately. Obviously, Penn State's got a new coach. But still, based off how Indiana's played this season, it's stay healthy till the Big Ten title game. In all likelihood, they're probably looking at a bye in the college football playoffs.
Unbelievable.
Which would put them, not getting a home game. It would immediately put them into the quarterfinal part of the bracket.
Tomorrow morning on your sports morning show, Pacers coach Rick Carlisle. What else?
Yeah, we also have Doug Bowles on. So I think Doug wants to come on, chat a little bit. Never too early to look ahead to another Indy 500. So the great Doug Bowles will join us, and then hopefully Rick Carlisle. They're in Dallas for a game on Wednesday, so we'll have Rick join us from there.
Kevin Bowen, 107.5 The Fan. Thank you, as always. Have a great week.
You bet, Nigel. Thanks for having me, man.
It's the Hammer and Nigel Show. Well, what can you say about a window company like Window Nation? A lot, actually. I love Window Nation. I'm a Window Nation customer. They get an A-plus rating from the Better Business Bureau, and Window Nation recently ranked highest on Forbes' list of best window installation companies. So you can trust Window Nation for high-quality, affordable windows, especially with this amazing deal Hammer is going to tell you about right now.
All this month at Window Nation, when you buy 2 windows, you'll get 2 for free. And what's great is that there's no limit on how many windows you can get. The more you buy, the more free ones you get. And if that's not enough, how about this? No payments for 2 years. No monthly payments, no down payments, no interest until 2027. Call Window Nation right now and get that free estimate. Free is a good thing. 866-90-NATION or go to windownation.com, but you have to tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
Picture this. Your career ends, your paycheck stops. Suddenly you're conducting your retirement with no sheet music. Don't let that happen. I'm Jason Hutchins, and after years of guiding Hoosier families through retirement planning, I put together some of the most important lessons into one simple, easy-to-read book, Orchestrate Your Retirement, a guide to composing a financially tuned plan. Get a copy mailed to you at no cost. Call 317-660-929. That's 317-660-929. This book is packed with real-world stories and strategies on income, Social Security, taxes, and how to protect what you've worked so hard to build. Call Guardian Wells Financial at 317-660-929. That's 660-929 and ask for your copy. No pressure, no strings attached. Supplies are limited, so when they're gone, they're gone. Orchestrate your retirement. The rhythm of your future starts here.
Investment advisory services offered through Creative One Wealth LLC, a registered investment advisor. Guardian Wells Financial is not affiliated with Creative One Wealth or with any government agency. Licensed insurance professionals.
Listen up, football fans. You won't want to miss this.
Right now, new Bet365 customers bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets, win or lose. So you could turn that $200 into something bigger when you bet on money line, spread, totals, player props.
$200 in bonus bets when new customers bet $5. I know where I'm going to bet from now on. Download the app today and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Indiana. T&Cs apply. In-app only.
An official message from Medicare.
Medicare plans change from one year to the next. And this year, it's important for you to review your current coverage and compare all your options during Medicare open enrollment. Compare health plans, drug coverage, and costs. See if you can save some money, and don't forget to make sure your drugs are covered. Open enrollment ends December 7th. Visit Medicare.gov or call 1-800-MEDICARE.
Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You've still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at VaxAssist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
The Attorney General's office wants to put your money back in your pocket. Visit IndianaUnclaimed.gov and search for yourself, your loved ones, or your business. It's fast, easy, and free.
mNEXSpike COVID-19 vaccine mRNA by Moderna is here. To find it near you, visit mnexspike.com. That's mnexspike.com.
Hi, this is Richard Stevenson. Is your furnace ready for the winter? Give us a call, 317-557-8532.
Stevenson Heating and Cooling is your independent American Standard air dealer.
Don't wait to hear it from someone else.
I says, oh yeah? And she says, yeah, is right.
The WIBC Daily Newsletter brings you the headlines, videos, and moments everyone will be talking about next.
Matt Bayer's got to look at driving.
Yeah, Nigel, northeast side. 2 problems on northbound 465. The first at East 71st Street. It's a stall. And after that, northbound 465 at I-69. That's a crash. We have stop-and-go traffic back to East 56th Street and a delay of 4 minutes. Northbound 69 is slow out of 465 past 82nd Street. Northwest side, eastbound 465. Tight in spots from 865 over to Meridian 31. Southbound 65-70. Stop-and-go traffic. North split to the south split. That's a construction zone zone. Same with northbound 65 from Raymond into the South Split. That's slow because of road work. Traffic sponsored by Drexel Interiors. Replace old floors before the holidays with Drexel Interiors and get a free pad with a qualifying purchase of new carpeting or luxury vinyl through November 15th. Go to DrexelIN.com for details. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
63 at the American Standard Heating Weather Center on 93 WIBC.
And it takes me back to a simpler place and time when we used to kick back.
Okay. Hammer's out. The gun guy, Relford, is in. Moonshine Mondays aren't stopping, baby. We have a super fan that likes to make illegal moonshine for us. And this time he's dropped off a Halloween batch. Previously, Guy, we had this whole, just several different flavors, and he labeled them all. Look at this mason jar right here. There's no label on what this is. But could you describe maybe what you're looking at?
You know, it's kind of mustard color, and it's got some viscosity to it.
It's got some viscosity. It is mustard color. I was going to say pumpkin because this is
pumpkin?
the super fan that made this for us.
And by the way, as your attorney, this is not illegal moonshine. This is moonshine, the legality of which has not been substantiated.
Okay. I'm going to start saying that from now on. I think it just sounds neater when we say. So if you don't mind, I don't know what this is. I know it's moonshine, but I don't know what flavor it is.
And we're about to put it in our body.
We're going to experience it together.
Yeah.
He did say, again, this was Halloween flavored Halloween style moonshine here. So
smells great.
Here's to you. Cheers on Moonshine Monday. Thank you to our super fan.
I think it's got a little pumpkin, a little cinnamon.
Yeah, little pumpkin,
little cinnamon,
and definitely a little spice.
And a little spice,
you can taste
no
that.
doubt.
I always said this guy has this moonshine. Don't let the viscosity, like you said, and the color and the smell fool you, because it's got a kick to it, right?
But it's fabulous. I'll tell you what, I would put this over ice cream.
You would do another one?
Yeah.
All right.
Well, absolutely.
Yeah, let's do another one, man. We got an entire hour of the Hammer and Nigel show. Coming up next, Guy Relford, the gun guy, filling in for Jason Hammer. And we'll have another hour next. 93 WIBC.
It's that time of year again when the leaves turn, the days get shorter, and you hear a lot about Medicare open enrollment. If you're feeling overwhelmed by all the options, you're not alone. Original Medicare, Advantage plans, Part D, Medigap, it's a lot to sort through. And making the wrong choice can cost you more than just your financial confidence. That's where Howard Bailey Financial comes in. At Howard Bailey, we don't just help you pick a Medicare plan. We help you make a more confident choice with your full financial picture in mind. Our team has licensed Medicare professionals backed by experienced financial advisors, all working together to help you retire with purpose. Get started by texting CARE to 888-494-5004 to speak with the Howard Bailey team and start your Medicare conversation today. At Howard Bailey Financial, we make Medicare simple so you can focus on enjoying the season, not stressing about it. Howard Bailey Securities, LLC is an independent financial services firm and uses a variety of different investment strategies. See disclosures at howardbailey.com.
Hi, I'm Dallas, your friend and jeweler at Shane Company. You know she loves her Shane Company engagement ring, but you also want to surprise her for her birthday, anniversary, or just because she deserves it. Why not get her a bigger diamond with our Easy Trade-Up program? We'll give you the full credit of your original natural diamond purchase toward a new one. Her new diamond only has to be $1 more. You only pay the difference. How's that for an easy trade-up? Visit us in-store or at shaneco.com. Because a friend wants you to win the gifting game. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Tune in Saturdays 9 to 1 for the Home and Garden Show for advice and fun. Brought to you by Michaelis. Water, storms, fire, and wet basements. Life happens. Michaelis happens to help you through it.
At Advent, nasal congestion and sinus infections can be solved with an in-office 20-minute procedure. Elsewhere, expect surgery.
It all comes down to this, folks.
Yep, the entire season is on the line.
But my throat has officially thrown in the towel. Sounds like you need Vicks VapoCool drops. They're max strength and vaporize sore throat pain.
Whoa! These VapoCool drops hit fast.